what's going on? And we are just about to get started, guys. Welcome everybody. We are actually going to start live early for once today. Hopefully everyone has having a great start to the New Year's. If it's already started for you guys, Happy New Year's for everybody out there if it's already past that point. Yes, unfortunately the prices are a bit overwhelming. Something that most people are not looking forward to going into 2026. I'm curious what everybody thinks about the upcoming year. At least we have CES that's coming up really soon, within a few days. I'll be heading out, and today's Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like 3 more days, about 3 more days. I'll be headed out there. I'll be leaving about 5:30 in the morning Eastern time. And by the time I arrive in Vegas, it should be roughly about 9:30. So if anybody, of course, has any questions during that event, please feel free to join in for that wonderful stream. Hopefully you guys are certainly excited for it. Ken, what's going on? Yes, unfortunately, it's still going crazy. There is a bit more news that has come in about the whole situation, especially when it comes to the VRAM. Hopefully you guys got to tune in onto that video about the GPUs going up in price, especially for those who are trying to get a 5070, 5070 Ti. Those cards specifically are going to be a bit less, especially because NVIDIA has planned to produce less of those cards. Happy New Year's to you, Ken. Unfortunately, because they're trying to produce less cards of the NVIDIA series, now it's more focused onto the RTX 5080s and 5090s. Some of you may have heard some of the news about the 5090s that could possibly reach a price adjustment as high as $6,000, which is completely insane. I have so Martin 23 Kings asked, I have a 5800 X3D and a 64GB Corsair RAM. Should I take advantage of the Micro Center deal? 9800 X3D and a 30. Absolutely. If you plan to take advantage of any of Micro Center deals, they are excellent when it comes to it. More than likely, you'll end up with a decent return anyway when you do sell your components. You have actually a decent processor that a lot of people are currently looking for. In fact, there's a lot of people out there that are currently trying to downgrade back to something like an AM4, or at least upgrade from what they originally had to a AM4 system to where they can take advantage of something like a 5800 X3D. If you do go ahead with this Micro Center deal, 9800 X3 is an excellent processor. You're going to see quite an uplift in your IPC, roughly about 15 to 20%. So why the prices of gaming PCs are so expensive? A couple of months went $500 up. So the whole situation with the gaming PCs is mainly because of one particular component, and it has to do with DRAM. Not just DRAM, but it's actually the wafers that are allocated by Samsung, from SK Hynix, and also from Micron. They are the key chip makers when it comes to those wafers. Unfortunately, those same exact wafers, they use that in order to create SSDs, RAM, not specifically anything like TSMC's wafers, which focuses a bit more when it comes to processor side, such as GPUs or CPUs. So NVIDIA update are every day. Yes, it's been pretty crazy with the updates. Hopefully it's refining a bit more. At least it's a lot better than what it was earlier this year. It was a bit crazy when they originally released it. It was so glitchy. It wasn't working right, but at least we're seeing some progress, especially when it comes to the NVIDIA cards. Slim Shady, what's up? Yes, I'm glad that you got the notification. I tried to alert every platform out there so I can let everybody know. I like to do these like surprise drop streams. Hopefully you guys certainly appreciate it. Do you think the 9070 XTX will crush a 5080? A great question, Tony. I gotta say, when it comes to that, it's hard to say. If they have the VRAM, if they're able to create the card that we hope for, it's a very high possibility, but we will have to wait till CES to know for sure if AMD does have something up their sleeves. I mean, it's not that far away. We only have about really 5 days left until that CES moment, which hopefully you guys will tune in for. So Igor Plosion says, I know about the DDR memory going up in price. Went up months ago. I heard about people talking about it. Yes, and unfortunately, it's continuously going up. It's so bad to the point where it's actually increased again in pricing. There was a lot of talk about it becoming stagnant, but it's 100% not the fact. Unfortunately, pricing continually goes up. So if anyone's telling you, don't worry, the price is stagnating, it really is not. If you noticed within the past couple days, it just continues to go up in pricing. GPUs, they're actually decently priced. You can still get GPUs for a great price. And if you really need one, I highly suggest anybody out there to pick up a GPU, because these prices are not going to last forever. Some of you may have already heard the rumor that the RTX 5090s are going up as high as $6,000 in 2026. ASUS had made already a statement about raising up their prices to match the quality of the RAM volatility. So that just gives you a good indication that 2026 might be a bit rough. So what's up, Egyptian? Happy New Year's. Martin, no problem, Martin. Yes, it's going to be worth it. You're doing it at a decent time. I feel like right now is a sweet spot. Like when it comes to timing to build a PC, if anyone is looking to do one, today or sometime very shortly soon during CES week is probably a good idea, because after CES, more than likely that's when you're going to see a lot of the pricing go up, especially once it gets until like about late January. I wouldn't say it's going to be an immediate jump, because they're waiting for the whole the allocation of VRAM to kind of shorten down, and when that does happen, that's when you're going to see a lot more of the price increases. So Cruiser, what's up? Hola. 5090 with cost. Yes, it's just doesn't make any sense. Ernesto, what's going on? Wasabi. Yes, New Year's Eve live stream. Simply Takuma, good to see you all. Blue Lily, is it? It's definitely you, Blue Lily. I'm pretty sure everyone hears me. People said I overpaid for my 5090 at $3,000 back, and you did it. Isn't it a wonderful feeling when you know you bought a PC component at a decent price? Imagine for everyone that wants to purchase a 5090 today. It almost seems like it's just as good as holding silver or gold. If you guys haven't checked out the pricing of silver and gold, you guys definitely have to check it out, because that's also increased quite a bit in pricing. The only ones that really lost out, seems like, are the crypto people, because they are getting hit hard this year. There's so many GPUs which are the best. Now, that's a great question. That is very dependent on what you are planning to do with the GPU. Are you a video content creator, or are you a PC gamer? Or maybe you are into something like LLMs. It all depends on your use of the GPU. Happy New Year's to everybody who is over in the European side. It's already New Year's for you guys. Lucky for you guys. Hopefully you are looking forward to the new year, and which leads me into throwing up a poll for you guys. So I'm going to throw up a poll for everybody out there, because I am curious if everyone out there is looking forward to the new year. So you simply, in order to answer this poll, you just have to put 1 or 2. So if you are looking forward to 2026, you're hoping for bigger and better things, put 1. If you are fearing 2026 and you're a bit worried about how the market volatility is, especially when it comes to PC peripherals, components, and you're a bit worried, feel free to put 2, put no, because 2026, it's going to be a bit of a turbulent start, probably one of the most turbulent ones, especially when it comes to the PC community here. So Igor says it's 11 p.m. for you. That's good, because it's still early for me for the new year. Still less than 1 hour. That's good, Wasabi. I'm glad that everything's come together. What did you end up deciding to do anyway? It seems that you wanted to go with the Ethernet switch port instead, like for your PC build, instead of going through the router. King Benner says you can get $4,500 GPUs from early 2010s, like for 6. You could. You certainly could. That it's not a bad idea for anybody who's really really wanting to go for a older GPU. And that was a question that I've actually received, is that if older GPUs will actually go up in price. And actually, it's really dependent. It just depends on what the demand is. If everyone wants a GPU for some weird reason, like it gets to a point where GPUs sell out again, then yes, there is a possibility older GPUs can raise up in value. And then the 4090 goes back up in value again for some really weird reason, as it originally was sold at $1,500 MSRP. And now it's about holding about the same in the used side. So just imagine if 5090s really go up to like, say, like around $5,000 or $6,000, because then once that does happen, what's going to happen with those 4090s? They're also going to go up in price. So some people are using Xeon. That is a terrible idea to game on those type of processors. You don't want to game on those type of processors, those Threadrippers, because it's too many cores. You're not going to really see a performance gain from that. So if anyone's thinking of a large processor such as those, it's much better. You're much better off just going ahead with something like from AM5, or even something from Intel's 15th generation, if you really wanted to do a PC build. Damn, I remember that used 40. Yes, it used to be, right? So RTX 4090s never came back down to MSRP during their life cycle, by the way. Absolutely correct. It's never gone down. So far it seems surprising on the poll. I see a lot of people there are actually looking forward to the upcoming year, which is a bit surprising, I gotta say. So good for everybody. I'm trying to move my poll there on the vertical side. I apologize. So make sure. Okay. So now it's, I see a little bit of a mix. Okay. We're seeing a bit more extra votes. Waffle Skater, good to see you. So $6,000 to $7,000, unfortunately, yes. Hopefully that is not true. Hopefully there is some work around that, because as we mentioned, you know what, guys? I want to show you a clip. I thought this was pretty funny. It was, in fact, about the whole Samsung situation, since everybody's here. So it's not, not even for us. Of 8 p.m. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I decided just to go ahead and do a early stream. Yeah, and don't worry, it's going to be probably a bit more of an extended stream, but speak for yourself. I would much rather watch paint dry for the wall than pay for such an atrocity. So I bought a 4090 for 1750 euros about 3 years ago. I still love it. 4090 is a great card. Honestly, I really miss that card. I wish I had kept it. Honestly, I would have thrown that into my Threadripper if I could. I really miss that. I had the Gigabyte Ors Windforce, an awesome card, and it was really silent. I think Epic Gamer was trying to make the worst joke possibly, and I'm glad you did. I'm glad. Okay, I get the joke now. Yeah, I get it, but I'm not going to repeat the joke. Got my PC built up. It's up and running, and it looks beautiful. For my second build, I have to say it came out looking top notch. That's awesome. Send your pictures to Discord. Wasabi, feel free to show off your PC build. We've been waiting for you. Everybody's been asking for you, bro. I heard Samsung and SK Hynix can't make more RAM. Unfortunately, that is true, because this has to do with the fabs. SK Hynix is working hard, and they're actually going to make manufacturers such as HP, or your typical ones, Lenovo, all the pre-built manufacturers. They're going to prioritize their DRAM first. I know it sucks, but unfortunately, they are feeling a bit of a pinch now from those manufacturers. Microsoft ended up firing people because they weren't able to secure RAM for their AI. So you had Google that also did the same thing. They ended up firing people because they could not secure RAM for their AI as well. So there was a lot of firing going on in the manufacturing side, because AI has been certainly taking up the storm when it's come to when it comes to these big PC manufacturers. So 14 minutes, you must have just gone live after I opened your channel in a new tab. Okay. Let's see, the margins for making HBMs instead of DDR5. Yes, and that's the biggest issue. Let me know when you're available. I will. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll let you know. Wasabi just ordered a CPU cooler, by the way. What kind of CPU cooler did you end up going? Did you end up going with? Did you end up going with? Let me take a guess. I'm not guessing. For some reason, I just had deep cool that just like threw into my mind there. Maybe it's Thermalright, if I'm guessing, because originally you were talking Thermalright from what I remember. Man, a Threadripper is a dream for my use case. I also dream about Threadrippers too, especially Shimada's Point. I would love to get that Threadripper, but unfortunately, this RAM situation is certainly killing me to do it. That's cheap, 1750 at the moment. It's over 2k euros. The 4090 here PC components are very expensive in general. What makes the 4090 interesting, it's actually one of the first of graphics cards out there that can actually produce some sort of AI because of the type of processor that is in there, the type of GPU that's in there, compared to the 4070s and 4080s. So it was actually one of the very first ones. It's going to end up becoming one of those collector GPUs. So if anybody does have an RTX 4090, it's probably smarter to keep it, to be honest, because that's just going to keep building up on value. Originally, we all thought the 40 series wasn't going to be a great series from NVIDIA. The only really good card that really came out of the 40 series and was one of the best, honestly, was the 4090, I think. So what's the best water block for CPU water cooling? So EK also makes some great water blocks. So I'm assuming, are you looking for processors or GPU water blocks? But EK is something I would recommend. Corsair also has their version, but I would preferably go with EK if that's it. How do you use Discord? I've never heard of it. Oh, really? So Discord is just like a messenger app. So if you have you can use anything. You can use your PC. Since you just finished building your PC, you download Discord and join in on the invite link. Now I do have a bot that sends out the invite link, or you could simply put in the command, put !Discord, and that's how you can join it. Frozen, what's going on? So Venix Vixen says, I think when the 5090 becomes 5K, $5,000 of 4090 will follow. I agree. Venix, that's exactly the case when it comes to it, and that's what's going to make the RTX 4090 such a valuable card. The funny thing is the RTX 3090 Ti hasn't really followed it, or the RTX 3090. It's kind of like a forgotten card when it comes to the 30 series. Even though that has up to 24 gigabytes, it just does not have the power where the 4090 does when it comes for, say, LLMs. Now, so looking into a Lian Li wireless fans, that's awesome. We're definitely going to look for Lian Li once we go to CES. I don't think I usually see them there, but I do certainly see Thermaltake, and I do see, let me see, I also see Height there as well. But again, on the showroom floor, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. It's going to start very soon. I will be flying out, just to let everybody know, very soon, within about 3 days, we'll be headed out, 3 to 4 days, out to CES. So the 32 gigabyte VRAM on the RTX 5090 is just godly. No other GPU offers that niche. And that's the thing. It's the only GPU out there that has it. Of course, you could always make the argument that AMD has a version of it. Intel does have a version of 48 gigabyte version, but they're not going to be meant for some sort of gaming use. Obviously, if you do get those ones like the RX, it's a RX 6000. If you end up picking that up from AMD, I think it's the RX, is it the 6000 or 7000? But it's one of them where it has up to 32 gigabytes. It's made for workload production usage, and you can use it, but it won't be great for gaming because the ray tracing cores are just not there for it. Same thing when it comes to NVIDIA's cards. When it comes to their workloads. So has AI like the new ones? See, good to know. So, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to understand your question. So has AI like the new ones? I see, good to know. Can you try to clarify that question? In Cyprus, the situation is where, for example, motherboards are crazy expensive, but GPUs are MSRP and CPUs are sometimes below. And that's what we're going to see here. We're going to see a shift when it comes to the CPU side and also to the motherboards. In fact, ASUS is actually talking about reproducing AM4 boards and DDR4 boards. So it's very real to know that the RAM struggles are real because these companies such as ASUS, Gigabyte, AceRock, all of them are trying to reproduce motherboards where they're able to sell because they know that if they produce these new boards that they're just not going to have new builders for them because RAM is just way too expensive currently, and nobody's going to want to follow the RAM pricing trend, which it just consistently just goes up in price. And that's the largest problem that we do have in the PC industry. Obviously, that if you followed NAND when it comes to SSDs, you'll notice the price has also gone up quite a bit. It's gone up nearly about like $50 to $55 since we originally saw it within the last week. Originally, we saw a price bump up to like about $20 to $25, and then within the next 2 or 3 days, it bumped up again to another $20 to $25. In fact, I was interested in purchasing another external SSD just in case for a backup for CES coming up. But the problem is when I took a look at those pricings, I wanted to throw up. That's how bad the pricing is. So it's just disgusting how it is right now. Hopefully it does certainly improve. So Waffle Skater says, I hope every one of those people get fired, others because they couldn't get into RAMs in today's crapshoot. Get what's coming to them. I could not be exactly. It's, you know what's funny? I said the same thing exactly to my wife. I told her, you know, these companies right now, they're firing these employees and because they could not secure RAM. And she's like, well, it's not their fault. And I thought, yeah, exactly the case. I mean, it isn't their fault. And it's not anybody's fault that they couldn't get their hands on RAM. It's nobody's fault that they wanted to build a PC, just say, late in 2025. Nobody expected this to happen, especially for those who are hard savers, those who are dedicated savers, the ones that want to get all their components at once and maybe thinks that once they bundle all their PC components together, they'll get a better discount when it comes to RAM. Unfortunately, it's not the case. Luckily, the best store we have here in the US is Micro Center. We've looked at Newegg. It's really bad what they've been doing. I mean, it's been terrible. I don't know what their deal is. It's just like they have gone way off the rails within the last year. I hope Newegg does get back to its roots and start selling PC components at proper pricing. Otherwise, everybody else has options such as Amazon to purchase PC components if there is no Micro Center near them, especially in the US. So am I underutilizing my 9800 X3D and 5090 by just using it for F1? No, not at all. That's like one of the more demanding games out there for it. If you want to really utilize that 9800 X3D, open up a game that has Unreal Engine 5. Open up Metal Gear Snake Eater. That'll do it. So I heard buyers are going crazy today to sell back next month. I hope so. Did you see that guy that turned an old cast iron Victorian radiator into a PC AI? No, I didn't. That would be pretty dope to see. Over all the computer parts, we need world peace first. So now I'm going to close up the poll here, the original poll, which was, is everyone looking forward to 2026? And it looks like the majority, most people are looking forward to 2026. There's still a lot of optimism out there, which is a very positive sign. So I will change the Fantex D30 to Lian Li 1s like in Discord mentioned. I saw that, and I was going to say that I saw that's going to be your New Year's resolution pretty much. And hopefully this New Year's resolution comes true. I'll announce mine for everybody out there. So my resolution is to let everybody know is we are going to attempt to build at least 2 to 3 PCs within the next year. Even as volatile everything is, we will try to hit that goal. The next goal is also try to hit at least up to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. Let's hope we can make that happen. Make sure you let it known, and we will do certainly something big if that is the case. So we will turn off the poll there, and we will throw up another poll in a little bit. So Waffle Skater says, when I built my PC 4090s at Micro Center, they were around $1,700 to $1,900. I regret not getting one as much as I love my PC. I regret what I got for what I paid, but oh well. It's all good. At least you made out with something. Most people out there who are still holding on something like an RX 580, imagine how they feel. Imagine the people that still have a 1660 GTX. They are the ones that are really suffering, especially if they were trying to do this large, massive, say, $4,000 to $5,000 PC build. Now that $4,000 to $5,000 PC build has turned into an $8,000 to $9,000 build. So at least you made it through. At least there is some sort of positive side to it. So Wasabi says, finally decided to switch my Intel for the second build. And that's going to be interesting. It's like we're both on the same page here with this whole Intel build. We have a Intel build almost ready to go. And more than likely, we're going to go ahead with that build right after CES. I'm waiting to see what they offer at CES. Intel should announce allegedly a 270 and also a 290. So if that's the case, it's supposed to be their version of the refresh chip, and see if there isn't quite an improvement. I don't expect a large improvement over the original Arrow Lake, which is the 285K, but let's hope for the best. So Igor Plosion says, have you been to... No, I have not. I've seen it though. I have seen that convention. We'll definitely think about going to it. I've also wanted to go to Computex too. I've been lacking on that side. As many times as I've been to Taiwan, I have not been to Computex, ironically. So I still like the 12th gen. If you are on a budget, you can use DDR4. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, I'm streaming on a PC that still uses DDR4. So as a 3D modeler, I can tell you something about 4090s. It's the first consumer level card that can handle cycle paths, tracing, and viewports while you're working. That makes perfect sense, Phoenix, because that can certainly be useful for anybody that does want to get into 3D modeling. So Kim Chili Thee says, the 9800 X3D or the 9950 X3D, if I'm seeing no difference in performance, expect from price. So does anyone know how much longer are the bundles are? That is a great question. You just reminded me. I got to look up to see if Micro Center will have a table at CES. If they do, I will certainly love to ask that question. More than likely, they will have some sort of limit, because how long can they survive on that? I'm sure they're taking quite a hit because they're trying to satisfy customers that are looking to do a PC build. Also, has the 7600 and X3, you know what? That's a great question. We will definitely take a look. Man, I am way behind, guys. So Epic Gamer, just make more RAM. So Blue Lily says, in the Cypress shortage, take a bit to make a bit more impact. Starts when the European warehouses run in supplies. Kilobyte, what's up? They are collecting hardware, but they don't have the energy to run the AI at the moment. Unfortunately, that is a shame. Newegg, Newegg is more like rotten eggs at this point. So Kim Chili says, I saw that guy who built a 59. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. God bless Amazon Germany with their good deals. Kilobyte also says 2026 has to be the year of optimism. Absolutely, you're right, Kilobyte. It absolutely has to be, because they have to be able to utilize the 8 gigabytes, because now new laptops that are coming out, unfortunately, they have to utilize to those settings. They can't even really take advantage of ray tracing, because at that time, it's just going to end up eating a lot more RAM in that case anyway. So just imagine those GPUs out there that are still only at 8 gigabytes, especially if they want to play on a larger display. A big thing that's going to happen at CES is there's going to be new displays. So how are they going to sell that, especially within the new year? I'm sure they have quite the lineup coming up of displays, especially these new OLED ones. They look quite wonderful, that are tandem OLED. Now, the tandem OLED displays, they're quite wonderful if you are more text focused, because they use RGB IC strips in them, so that way you get a bit more clarity when you look through a display. So Waffle Skater says underutilizing it, but you're using it for what you want, utilizing the 9800 X3D and a 5090. Alice says, do you think it's worth combining an Ultra 9 285K with the WSW880? I mean, it could be. I'm guessing what type of server are you trying to run here is my question. It all depends. For me, it's in 30 minutes. I can't wait for you guys. Happy New Year's to you guys. Hopefully, it becomes more of a blessing in disguise 2026, even though we're getting all this nasty and dreadful news, especially when it comes to the PC hardware side. So Arctic is underrated. Agreed. Thermal rate is overrated. Okay, Epic. So I'm from an Asian country. Yes, in 2026. If we get 100,000 subs, will you donate 128 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM? If I can, sure, why not? I would definitely somehow do it to our PC community if I could get my hands on that much. I'm building my first PC right now, 9950X3D. Oh, that's awesome. That's quite interesting. I just kind of switched that real quick because I'm surprised with a 5070 Ti and a 99. I'm guessing you're definitely going to be using it for some production usage because 9950X3D would be great for that. It's also good for gaming as well. How do you make a user on Baslite? Mine's is bugged. Okay, that I would have to. Oh, I gotta take this guy out. Excuse me, real quick. This bot. Let's get him out of here. Okay, so he's out. So level 1 tech, Wendell is the pro on that subject. So Blue Lily says, decided to go with the Cougar FV 150 for the case. It is beautiful. Okay, I'm in Discord. Just wait for the permission. Send the message. Okay, so if anybody's just joining Discord, just make sure you click the rule side so that way you enable all the other servers there, just to let you know. So just click the rules up on the top. Click that green check mark and all the other servers will unlock. So if anybody does say anything in Discord, make sure that you let me know because I'll have my Discord open as well. So guess out Beeman says 6K should be for a great build. It should be. It should be is the key. So my biggest concern was
At Super Chatted $5. Happy
Awesome.
New Year to you and your family. Hope everything goes well this coming year and thank you very much for all your help with computer tech.
Oh, thank you so much, Rainbow. I really appreciate it. And I certainly love to help out the PC community out there. So thanks so much for the donation. And it will go towards for something great as a great stream for upcoming for CES 2026. And hopefully you certainly will enjoy that stream as well. My biggest concern is today's market is that I got a 13700K. I don't think it degraded, but I updated the BIOS. But man, I mean, the Intel processors are great. The biggest thing is you just want to make sure to update the BIOS because you want to, and which you already did.
Alda_Vav is now following.
Awesome. Thank you for following. So I gotta say, if you updating the BIOS is exactly what you have to do. That's all you can really do to prevent any type of overburning. So Cruiser says AceRock made a Intel motherboard that takes. Yes, I am looking forward to that. I want to see if AceRock has a display, but unfortunately they only have server grade motherboards and server grade items that they will have. But if you guys are interested in it, you want to check out their server stuff, we can definitely take a look at it. It says the bundle. So Waffle Skater says the bundles are now with Crucial RAM instead of G-Skill. Oh, really? It depends. If it is CL32, they make decent RAM, but the thing with Crucial RAM, for everybody to know, this is the reason why it's usually cheaper. When it comes to Crucial, you have less capability of overclocking. If you are interested in doing things like adjusting timings when it comes to your RAM, you want to adjust latency, and you want to do items such as that, Crucial has less flexibility to do so. Now, if you are looking for that, if you are more of a overclocker when it comes to RAM, you want to really push your RAM to the limits, then it's better to get something like a SK Hynix die. And those are usually inside of Corsair or G-Skill RAM. So what motherboard what do you have on the 90? That's a great question. I'm curious. That is a good question. So then if you RMA a DDR5, yes, the wonderful DDR5 that's going to sit at G-Skill. In fact, I'll probably go missing. Maybe they'll swap it out with that dummy RAM that we talked about. Best wish. Thank you, Thrillerama. Appreciate it. ASUS is presenting a OLED. Yes, it is going to be absolutely crazy. I can't wait to see it. I have schedules with ASUS and Gigabyte. Actually, Gigabyte's going to, just to give you guys a heads up, Gigabyte is going to be one of the first brands that we will go to after the whole AMD conference. So just to give you guys a heads up, that's where we will be heading. And hopefully things will be not under embargo. If it is, I can't show it until the showroom floor. But I will certainly, you guys will certainly be the first to see that. So is it 9950 X3D Gen Zen 6 CPU, those that will have L3 cache, 12 cores, and yes. Well, see, the thing is, when it comes to 9950 X3D, if your question is, are you questioning that if it's going to have, like, say, a double stack, like CCDs, like if you want 2 3D V caches, because that's what's expected when it comes to Zen 6. And I'm curious how they're going to do it, because they're also going to have to adjust the clock speeds for that, and the same with the boost clock speeds. So Zen 6 will certainly have a way to have some sort of breakthrough. I think it's going to be a much bigger leap compared to the rumored 9850 X3D and the 9950 X3D2. So, the 9950 X3D2 will have double V cache, but it's not going to be as large of a jump, as it's going to be more focused for, I say, for the gaming side. It will have some negative hits because of the double V cache when it comes to the multitasking side, when it comes to, say, like productivity. So I just bought this RAM on December 20th. G-Skill Trident Z5 Neo. Oh, you did? How much did you pay for it? I paid out $879. It came out to like $900. Wasabi says, oh, like the side of my OLED. Yeah, just pretty much, Takuma. So, well, you can always try to trade for 5070 Ti for 128 gigabytes of RAM. And speaking of displays, just to throw it out there real quick, they are working on displays. This is going to be pretty wild, guys. They are working on displays where they go over 1,000 watts. Can you believe? I mean, not 1,000 watts. What am I saying? 1,000 hertz. Not 1,000 watts. Now I sound like a rep from Alibaba there. 1,000 hertz. Can you imagine that? Over 1,000 hertz in a monitor. Just imagine how much power that would take. So I have a 6400 megahertz, 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. How long do you think it's going to be good? I mostly game at it's most of the time, I'll tell you right now, most of the time, RAM holds off really well. It's not very often that RAM actually goes bad. You actually probably run into a bad SSD before you run into RAM. That's a bit more common than having RAM issues. Now, RAM had issues before because they had much more of a higher error rates, especially in earlier models, especially before around DDR4. Like, it was a little bit more prevalent then, but DDR5, it's way less issues when it comes to that side. So at least now, because again, it's been out for quite some time. It's been out since 2021. So I'd say like it's been about a decent 4 to 5 years since it's been out. Again, not large issues. So I wouldn't worry about it until it actually goes bad. And even if one of your sticks go bad, you still can go off of one stick. So at least you'll have a backup. It's like having two organs, you know? You have a backup one. You have two lungs right there. So I tested the OLED monitor today with Death Stranding and Space. Yeah, isn't that wonderful? Like how you can see the difference in color. John Smith, what's going on? CS Squawk 64 gigabytes is completely overkill. Yes, I agree. CS Squawk is correct. If you have 64 gigabytes of RAM, it's 100% not needed if you only game on it. If you do use other tasks, if you are a heavy multitasker, or if you are more of a production user, or you like to create and edit videos or stream, then you can take full advantage of 64 gigabytes. Now, I'm building my computer for the first time too. I have a 9950X 3D. A very interesting way you wrote it. A godlike motherboard and a Zotac 5080 and an MV9 cases with 15 Fantas 140 fans. Oh, I see someone in general here. Sorry, officer. There you go. Yeah, make sure you drop your PC build. I bought it sale a while ago before the RAM shortage. So Stephen Anderson says, I have a Bazzite on a computer, but I really like Cache OS, and they have a recent driver 5090. So we don't have any gaming applications that gives any performance advantage over 32 gigabytes. Microsoft, the Hynix, yes, I agree. Hynix is the best for overclock. I agree with Alda there. That's on what I can expect from AMD at 20. Processors, more than likely. We're probably going to get a hint on 9000G. So any of you users that are looking for APU to save a bit of money, more than likely they are going to have the 9000G. I do also expect them to talk about their upcoming plans. For them to have a scheduled map, so to say, when it comes for Zen 6. I do expect that to happen. They may touch on AM6, but they're probably not going to talk about it much. Because of this RAM issue, guys, I gotta say, it's going to delay. I'm sure none of you really care, especially most of you guys here are PC gamers. So it's going to end up delaying for the upcoming next-gen PlayStation 6 and the upcoming next-gen Xbox. That is for certain. That's delayed. Originally, that was supposed to be slated within the next year. We know that for sure because they already were making offerings and deals. For example, Sony and AMD were already struck up a deal in order for them to come out with PlayStation 6. Consider that to be delayed till 27 or 28. So that certainly takes a hit. And of course, the Switch 2 is going to go up in pricing because of the high RAM cost, up as high as 42%, and that might even change. So, who will be the top godlike 20? You know, there's also a rumor that MSI is coming back with the Lightning GPU, so we could even see an RTX 5090 Lightning, and I would imagine it's going to be quite expensive if that's the case. So Gigabyte is showing they probably will. They'll be like, yeah, we heard you talk about Project Wood. You know, I should have got my Project Wood shirt ready so that way I could wear it for that day and see if they respond, see if Gigabyte responds to it. So on Amazon Germany, there is a 4TB external SSD sitting at 210 euros. That's one hell of a deal, but I don't want to, I hear you. It's, you know, it's crazy. Just like I posted up on YouTube, if you guys saw the post, they struck this up as part of Dealcember when it comes to Newegg and their 4TB SSDs. And they were trying to sell this, it was the Western Digital 4TB 8100, which is their Gen 5 SSD. And they were trying to sell it for $500. So they're already pushing the mark up really high for when it comes to any type of M.2 drives. So Sorry Officer said, figured it out, uploaded my pics to Discord. Awesome. Okay, well, we will definitely take a look. Where did you upload it? Feel free to let me know. You'll go blind. OLED will never be used unless it's under $200. I think I'm starting to catch up, guys. So Alda says, what do you think about using a W880 motherboard with an Intel Ultra 200 CPU for mini PC servers? It's not a bad idea. I'm just curious what you will be using it for. And again, you can use it for, servers have a lot of great uses. And you know, I was actually thinking of doing even a hybrid, like with the Threadripper, and creating actually a NAS system out of it too. And just have a dual boot instead of have Windows and have it pretty much like a virtual server just for the cloud services to extend on it. Thank you. So, oh no, they really did too much for this gen console. Yes, unfortunately they did. 2026 year, GTA 6. You know, that's a great question, guys. I'm going to throw out a great question for you guys. Do you think GTA 6 will release in 2026? You ready, guys? I'm going to throw the poll out there for you and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. So here we go. Poll coming up. Do you guys feel that GTA 6 will release in 2026? Let me know. Feel free to vote. It's in order to vote, you put 1 or 2. So it can support ECC memory. So it is true 5090 is going. It's a possibility. It's certainly a possibility. Mostly used for. It's not again. Yeah, go for it. I think you would be certainly happy for it. So Dark Cell Tech, don't hold your breath. Yes. Let's just hope it's a rumor. Is the poll moving? Okay, feel free to vote. Yes, there it goes. It finally processed through. It doesn't matter if it doesn't, if they push it back anymore. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. They're going to end up killing the hype for it. And for everybody that's in here, I got to show you something funny. This is going to be pretty funny. I'm going to go on. Somebody sent me this because I had a response to the Samsung's issue here, and this was it right here. It was the WCCF. So let me share this with you guys real quick. This is pretty funny. So once we go over here, you see that. Let me see. I'll enable the poll here too for you guys, so you can still vote. So, and we will discuss a bit more about GTA 6 here. So they said Samsung Semiconductor Division employees will receive a performance bonus of up to 50% of their annual salary. So can you imagine, like if you get paid, say, $200,000 a year, you get 50% of it. So you get $100,000 back for your performance bonus. More than triple of last year's payout thanks to AI. The higher DRAM and HBM prices are primary drives behind the larger payout. Of course, right? So, of course, I had to respond to this. So I said Samsung Mobile Division looking at Semiconductor Division. Pretty much, they probably looked at them just like this. They probably gave them a look and said, we wanted to get semiconductors from our division, but unfortunately, they never responded. Now, somebody actually replied with something funny. Like they actually got a voice interview from somebody at Samsung Mobile. And just watch this guy's mannerisms. It's pretty hysterical. And you guys got to let me know what you guys think of this. It is right. Where is he? I think it was right where he said it right here. Ready? So hopefully you guys can see it. Let me make sure the volume's on for you guys so you guys can hear it properly here. Yep. Okay, you ready, guys? Let me know if it's too low. So
on Samsung Semiconductors, and we see the success in mobile. Does that change your thinking about how heavy your shoulders are at this point?
No, I mean, our pressure has been there for all the time. I mean, nothing has
it's
changed.
pretty hilarious.
And I think there's a, I think Samsung is one of the companies who has every aspect of this supply chain, not only from the components to all the way to the devices, and also
Pressure on Samsung Semiconductors,
there
and
it
we
is
see
again.
the success in mobile. Does that change your thinking about how heavy your shoulders are at this point?
No, I mean, our pressure has been there for all the time.
You see that?
Nothing has changed.
He really had
And,
he tried to
there's
restrain himself there.
I think Samsung is one of the companies
Thank you for
who
subscribing.
has every aspect.
But that was the response. That just shows you that they are certainly not happy with the Samsung Semiconductor side. So Twix says, I have 16 gigabytes of DDR4. Should I build with that or try to flip it? Or should I get 16 gigabytes more? And also, should I go with a 5600X instead of a 5800X? Or what CPU do you prefer with a 9060 XT? Now, if you're going with the 9060 XT, I can certainly say you can flip it, but it depends on your budget. If you're only going 9060 XT, I'd say you might be decently happy with the DDR4. But if you're trying to do a PC build, you're trying to get a bit more up to date, and you want to go DDR5, it's going to be quite a tremendous price increase, especially if you're going to be using the 9060 XT. Now, what are you going to be using the 9060 XT for? Is it going to be for 1080p gaming? So AMD will reign king in my book because of the price. Laugh out loud. So CS Squawk says, oh yeah, NVIDIA's cutting RTX 5090 production in 2026. That is correct. Up to 40%. The GPU die size is too big to continue spending. That's the problem. Unfortunately, that is the biggest issue that they currently do have when it comes to the production side. And because of this, you're going to see a lot less 5070s, and you're going to see a lot less 5070 Ti's because of it. So Twix says, I also have a Thermal Right 360 White AIO, or should I save it for another build? Now, again, that all depends on what your goals are. Let me know your goals, and that way we can kind of pinpoint where you're headed. And let us know if it is for gaming, what type of games you play, what type of monitor that you're using, what type of display. So if you're in the market, better get your 50. Yes, if anybody really needs a 5090, I highly suggest go for it. You do not want to pay $6,000 because that can practically build your whole PC, including the 5090 if that's the case. So unfortunately, this is the biggest and heaviest rumor that we do have heard, but we are certain that we do know, in fact, that the prices are going to go up, because ASUS has sent out a statement stating that the pricing will go up. So I wonder if they are trying to double dip with GTA 6. They were hoping to release it right in time, or yet, I think you're right on point, Waffle Skater. I kind of had the feeling that they would do similar to what they did with GTA 5. When GTA 5 originally came out, it came out right at the edge, at the last edge of PS3 and Xbox 3. Was it Xbox 360? Was it that long ago? That's pretty crazy to think about. But it was right on that edge. And then that's when it came out to the new systems with PlayStation 4 and then the Xbox One. And then they came out with the new revamped version. And it also came out with the PC edition at the same time, because we had to wait practically like a full year. So more than likely, I do think that's the case. I think Waffle Skater is on point there. Happy New Year's, Henswig. Awesome. Not too far for you guys. You only got 9 minutes left, like on my end from what I'm seeing. 32 gigabytes DDR, trust me, you will be fine. So I like air cool because less points of failure. I get it. There's a lot of people that still feel that air cooling is the way to go. So it seems like a lot of people feel like that GTA 6 is not going to end up getting delayed. They seem pretty certain. They're pretty confident that GTA 6 is going to hold off. Is going to end up releasing. So if it does, then it will be, I think they are saying in November. So it's going to be like 11 months from now. So they should release it by then. I do know they have to kind of decipher through everything, because GTA 6 is also having trouble with their employees that have also worked for the company. Originally, they wanted to unionize, but unfortunately, the employer found out, Rockstar found out and said, hey, we're not doing that. We're not going to unionize. So we are going to let everybody go that was part of this. And unfortunately, all the new hires had to learn the engine that they had created. So can the 9060 XT handle 14? It can, but you'll be pretty much pushing it depending on the type of games
The one and
that
only
you are
Quick
playing.
subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. Can the 90... so, let's see. We see more votes for GTA 6. A 9090 XT. Oh, yeah. 9090 XT could actually... I would think it would do 4K. I would think it would have that capability, because I think AMD wouldn't be playing for that. Because the 9070 XT, I can say for certain, can handle... it can handle 1440 with no issue. So Twix says it's for customers who just want 1080p and prefers. Yes, that's why I figured 1080p, if that is what your goal is. Silver Linen says it's 9070 XT. I love the 9070 XT. I am looking forward to Sapphire when they release their version of it, because it looks like it's going to be an amazing card. But I'm curious if it's going to resolve this whole 12 volt high power port issue. If you guys have been hearing, there has been current issues again with it, but more or so when it comes to the 9070 XT from Sapphire using their harness specifically, and the same thing when it comes to using MSI's harness when it comes to their versions of like the 50. I think it was the last one was the RTX 5090 from what I read. Another one that ended up burning up. And if they do end up coming out with doing some sort of reiteration, hopefully that they end up coming out with 2 ports instead of just 1. I think that would honestly fix a lot of the problems that people are running into. And the same thing with the ASUS ROG Matrix. Unfortunately, because the way it's designed, it hasn't really been sitting flush because of its angle. So hopefully that will be fixed soon. ASUS says it's part of the design, but it's really more of a flaw, if I would have to say. So why pay $3K for something that is $700? It just depends on the gaming that you are doing. If you're just using a 5090 for gaming, it's then yeah, I can see what you mean. Unless you're using it to its full utilization, where you're going to say like 4K and you're going in full 4K resolution, and now this is native running at say 240 hertz. That would certainly be a different story, as that would be a bit more demanding, especially from engines such as Unreal Engine 5, like if you're playing games such as Black Myth Wukong or anything that is heavy into 4K. So That's why I'm debating on a 5600X or a 5800X. Oh, okay. So you're debating on a 56. So, okay. Is it mainly for gaming from what it sounds like? So just don't put the max settings. Yes, max settings wouldn't be necessary if that's the case. So Dark Style Tech says, I was just curious. I need to pick up a backup GPU. So I was thinking of a 9060 XT or a 5070 or somewhere in that range. Now, it depends on what you're using the GPU for. If you're looking for a backup GPU, I mean, a 9060 XT would do it. Again, it's just a backup GPU. So you're using it temporarily. No need to spend extra money if you don't have to, because it's not staying in the system. So if you do choose that, I would say just go 9060 XT. It's just a backup. So Waffle Skater says, I'm jealous of anyone whose Micro Center has the Zotac 5090s at MSRP last week and managed to snag one because all the other 5090s were at least $2,500, if not or more. You know what, guys? Let's go check out Micro Center, guys. Now you guys make me want to look at Micro Center for this Zotac 5090. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, Waffle Skater. We'll see if they do have it, just out of curiosity. Don't you love when it does those random refreshes? RTX 5090. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's see if they have it. Because I remember, yeah, all sold out already. See, the 5090s are selling out, guys. This is what I've been warning everybody about when it comes to the 5090s. The only one I can say for certain hasn't sold out is the Astral RTX 5090, just because of how expensive that card is. That's probably the only card that they have in stock. 5090s, then your worries are over when others complain. Yeah, you know, it's kind of an investment, guys. If you get a 5090 and you hold it, technically, if you want, say you really wanted an RTX 5070 Ti, but you ended up picking up at 5090, you got the extra cash just to grab it. Now you can hold it, and the price will go up, and then you can just sell it back at a pretty decent value. And you don't have to sell it at like scalper high levels, and you just want to get your money back practically and then some. It wouldn't be such a bad idea, because technically it's like buying gold. So the Astral, as predicted, they had plenty in stock because it's at $3,300. Astral, I could see this going up to like easily going up within the next year, because again, ASUS has announced the price increases. They haven't officially announced it in the US side or in the Western side when it comes to raising up the prices. Oh, is it the New Year's, guys? King Claus, almost for some people out there. Happy New Year's to King Claus there. So, also DLSS 4 is now at the point where you can't tell the difference between... Yeah, the thing is, I don't like using any type of frame generation. Now, that's going to be the next poll, guys. I will ask out there. And that's going to be, do you use frame generation? So we're going to reset the poll, guys, as we are done with that poll, and I will ask, let's see, do you use frame generation? And in order to vote, guys, all you have to do is put the number of choice. So for example, yes will be 1, 2 will be no. So I will put up the poll once again, and here you guys go. So do you guys use frame generation? So that's not the topic we are saying. Get it now or exactly. So again, if you buy a RTX 5090, get a new power supply and not a cheap Micro Center one. Absolutely correct. So far we got no for frame generation. For 5090s, for you, that's yours, and we're both happy. 4K Gaming, Dark Style, did you send it too? So we're about to take at some looks. We see Sorry Officer. Is Sorry Officer still here? I'm about to display his PC in a bit. Woo, real life. In real life. Oh, he meant website. No, I meant the website. I apologize for that. Sorry to get your hopes up. I will be doing a real life stream very soon. Don't worry. We will be at CES within a few days. Dark Style Tech says Micro Center has a Zotac 5070 for $500. That is why I was looking at it. Oh, really? So it wasn't the water cooled one. It was about 2,600. Going here on New Year's here, they trying to get rid of a lot of stuff. I promise. So far, we see a lot of people not using it, Astral and Gigabyte Masters are both going to break the bank. Absolutely, they're super expensive. I don't use frame generation, but I also use a 5090. Haven't had the need to. And that's the thing. If you have a 5090, most people will not end up using frame generation anyway. I know people that's got the 5070. They use the frame generation and they swear by it. They say it's great. And then you have some that do that don't use that at all. Most people I know that does not use it. I use DLSS, but not frame gen. Makes sense? DLSS makes a bit more sense. Okay, so on the 5090 side, they only have two kinds really in stock. And it seems like they have the Asus NVIDIA white one, which is a bit more, which they do have 5 in stock. Happy New Year's, guys! Happy New Year's to everybody over in the European nations out there. That is awesome. Happy New Year's to all of you. You guys over in Italy and Germany and all over Europe. Too much to name there. Sorry, officer. Yes. Oh, thanks for the donation, Simply Takuma.
At Simply Takuma super chatted $6.21. Happy New Year to all. Switzerland emoji, party face emoji, confetti ball emoji.
You're gonna love the bot, right? how it describes the emojis there. Happy New Year's. Yes. Happy New Year's to all of you guys. That is awesome. We still got a little bit of time on this side. We still got like another few hours until our New Year's. We still got like 6 hours. With AMD, it depends on FSR 3.1 or FSR 2. So far, we got a lot to know. Kilobytes. Yes. Happy... Hey, let's take a look here. In fact, let's go. We're going to take a look at Discord. Sorry, officer has shared his PC, so we're going to take a look at it. Not the gold 5080. Yeah, you know, that reminds me. Let's take a look at the 5080s, right? So we're here, right here, and I'm going to show Sorry, officer's PC. So let's take a look. That looks beautiful. I'm certain that you love this build. I love this look. That is sick. And you got that is nice. I love what you did with the cables there. And you got the 9070 XT. That is awesome. That is beautiful. Love it. Oh, there's so many people that's envious of you. I'm sure people will just zoom in right there. Look at the RAM right there. Feel free to, I hear people lighting up the fireworks already. And here are his specs right here. If you guys are curious, he has the M5 case, MSI X870E carbon Wi-Fi. Great board, by the way. Great motherboard. 96 gigabytes of G-Skill. Tried it. Wow. You know how much that is now today? 4 terabytes of Samsung 9100 Pro, M.2 Sapphire 9070 XT Nitro Plus, Lee Edge Platinum 1000 watt power supply, and the Hydro Flow to 3.5 LED AIO. What's the 39 on the motherboard? Let's see. 39 on the mother. Oh, that's just the temperature. A lot of times, like when you see that, guys, like when you see that on the motherboard, when it's not an error code, that's just going to read the motherboard temperatures most of the time. So if you are curious about seeing like those random numbers, don't worry. That's usually measuring, yeah, exactly, the VRM temperatures. So yeah, that is a beautiful build. Now, if anyone wants to share or show off their PCs, feel free, and we will definitely take a look here. Oh, he also posted it in PC hardware. Here goes Wasabi here with his OLED display. Look how dope that is. I know he's loving it. He still has the sticker. This is when you know. Is anyone else guilty of this too? They leave the sticker on their monitor just like this. Or they leave I left my glossy, like I left my the plastic that was on the display like for at least a year before I peeled it. And the only reason why I peeled it was something fell into my monitor. And I thought I scratched my monitor. I was like, oh no. So I took the plastic off. It was fine. It just scratched the plastic. So in a way, just let you guys know, it is kind of good to leave it on there. It's like, it kind of acts like a screen protector. So, yes, this is my Discord. Feel free to join it. If you want to join it, just put ! Discord and the link will come up for you. So for anyone out there on Twitch or on YouTube, all you have to do is put ! Discord and you can click the link and join. It is a free Discord, but you are more than welcome to join the members round table. Waffle Skaters, part of it. Takuma, Wasabi, LSG, Ernesto. They're all part of the roundtable. Genomore is not here today, just realized. Genomore is part of it too. If you join the roundtable, you will get some exclusive looks and will be the first to see the CES side. So, but that is beautiful. I can't wait to see Wasabi's finish though. He's been working really hard, guys. He's been working like for at least like for like 4 to 5 weeks, maybe longer even. No, it's been longer. It was like since November. But yeah, he's been working hard. So for everyone to vote once again, let's see. I will put up the poll here. Let's see. I'll switch back over here, guys, and feel free to vote. If anyone does use frame generation, feel free to put your vote in. So, let's take a look at Micro Center, see what they have to offer here. So, all they have on the 5090 side, it seems that they do have the MSI liquid cooled one, and this is a nice GPU to have. It's nice and thin, I gotta say, for $3130. And they actually have 8 in stock. So for anyone that is looking for a GPU like this, they do have it. Yes, you can post under battle stations. Originally, for everyone who is curious, battle stations is where you can put the your photos at when it comes to your PCs. So for anyone that is joining in the Discord, feel free to post all your PC photos on battle stations. And let's take a look at their 5080s. I wonder if they got that Dual Hobby edition. I hope I did great with mine. GPU MSI 5080 Expert OC. Oh, you did. Oh, you got it. You know, Alda, that was like one of the GPUs I was debating on. For all those who were part of that whole Micro Center stream last month, we were debating between them, MSI Expert RTX 5080 and the Asus Noctua RTX 5080. But we ended up, and the Gigabyte 5080, we looked at that as well. And we ended up opting in for the Asus Noctua 5080 because, again, it's a unique card. Don't really see it too often, so we decided to go with it. So I wonder if they even still have it in stock. We're about to take a look to see if they have any decent 5080s. So currently, for Micro Center, wow. Okay, I was going to say, is that it? We're going to look specifically for just GPUs here. We are looking in the Miami location for anyone that is around the location and is curious to see what they have. So Asus NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080, you can pick it up for $1350, not too bad. This is the tough gaming card. Originally, again, you know what? It kind of makes me think this card should be actually a bit cheaper. Yeah, these cards actually went up in price. I just realized that, guys. So RTX 5080s have gone up in price. Because this card shouldn't be more than, for the 5080, it should not be more than around 1100. So it did go up in price. RTX 5080 Astral, 1800. MSI NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080 Gaming Trio, about 1400. The Noctua actually held pretty decent. They only have one in stock. Here goes the Hob edition, the nice gold GPU that we were all curious about here. Yeah, I bought it. It was such a good deal in a low price for a 5080 in my region. How is it? I gotta say, is it pretty quiet for the most part? Just out of curiosity, because I know they say it's great for like great for when it comes to like any type of production usage, because that's what I mainly end up using the 5080 for, is mostly like production usage. But I will test it gaming wise if you guys are curious to see how it's like. And I can ramp up the speeds that way. We're going to DaVinci and like really try to push it. So this is the Dahab edition. This is the one that people should think about getting, because it does contain some sort of gold in there, and it's a 5080 with 16 gigabytes. And oh wait, they have 0 in stock, but they do have one open box for 1709. How about that? That is interesting. That's kind of weird to see open box Dahab edition for 1709. So Somebody apparently yesterday leaked PlayStation 5 key ROMs. Oh, really? Oh no, that's crazy. Sony's probably stressing already as it is. At least it's not Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't play. They will come out with their band of lawyers there. It should still be on the way. Should arrive. Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's a bit of time, but I hope it gets shipped to your house sooner. If you get it, please post it. I'm curious. Post it up on our Discord. Am really genuinely curious how the MSI expert is going to be. I can see, they don't have any of the MSI experts left here. Oh, they do have the Pro Art now, guys. Now, this card I was really curious about. So can't wait till till next year so I can justify my 5080 Founders Edition purchase. $999 is looking real nice with those. Yes, it's pretty sad to see these pricing, right, guys? So now you guys are definitely the first to see it. If you guys didn't know, 5080s have gone up a bit in pricing. You can no longer purchase it at $1,000 for a 5080. You're going to have to spend a bit more. You're going to have to spend a bit closer to $1,300 to $1,400 on average for a 5080. Now, they do have this Pro Art card. So, yes, it is nice, right? And you know what makes it unique is this. I can't wait to show you guys this if you don't know about the Pro Art card here. Okay, so it looks like we're done with this poll here. I'll shut it off for you guys. And let me see if they show it. And they don't. They're not showing it. Why wouldn't they show that? Because it's very unique in that sense. Let's see. Maybe someone will show it down here. Let's see. Maybe I'll describe it. We're going to go further down. There's something exciting I want to share. It does feature a USB-C port. So if you guys are curious and you want a port or a GPU that features it, it does have it. And it does have... Where is it? Let's see. I hope it shows it. You would think they would show it off a bit more here. It has a dual BIOS. Yes. Where is it? You can actually, for you guys that don't know, on the Pro Arts, you could also add an M.2 drive. Why don't they show it? Unless, that's crazy. Because you can add an M.2 drive on here, but you will end up losing one of your PCI Express lanes here. So instead of running at X16, or instead of running up to 16, you'll be running down to 8 lanes instead. So only 5080 for 1000 is the Founders Edition and the Zotac 5080. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe it. They all just went up drastically. I'm telling you, just like a week before Christmas, you could get a lot of these cards for around that $1,000 range easy. But converted to USD, I still pay $1,200. But oh yeah, the VAT tax, that sucks. So what can you use the M.2? So if you have that, you can use it practically just like another drive. Like it's just like pretty much an expanded drive that you can use for your GPU. This will be great for more of those that end up using to take up a lot of allocation when it comes to usage such as DaVinci. But it wouldn't be great for anyone out there that's trying to say like game on it and use the card, because then it would be like counter productive at that point. Yes. Yeah. Sadly, that's the case. Unless you have like, say like maybe if you have a workstation, like something more like if you have like a TRX 5 or a TRX 50 board, maybe you could get away with it. Maybe it'll open up another lane somehow. But it would probably take away one of the lanes on the motherboards, I would think, if that's the case. I don't know if anyone's tried it yet. Yes. And that's the thing. Yes, awesome. Happy New Year's, Romania. AceRock X870E Nova likes it because no lane sharing. Oh, there you go. So they have these cards in stock for anyone looking for a 5080. Now, 5070 Ti. Let's take a look at that. Then we're going to look at 9070 XTs. Just to get a good consensus of the market right now. Because the pricing is going up dramatically. Okay, so they have quite a bit of 5070 Ti's. Because that's like the in-between card now. So it seems like they do have the short form factor cards here from GeForce. I don't understand why other brands don't apply this, not sharing lanes. It's funny because it's like You would think everybody would understand, especially brands. No, we really hate when we really don't like lane sharing. Make it a bit more clear when it comes to the options, when it comes to lane sharing. Because even in the BIOS, there's ways you can actually disable lane sharing if you really don't want to use it. And hopefully they become a bit more clear on the next motherboards when they end up coming out with these refreshes. The GBX, Gabriel, yeah, the equivalent of 70, that's crazy. Dodge a bullet thanks to Reddit. You can tweak voltage settings on ASRock BIOS, zero problems then. There you go. So RTX 5070 Ti tough gaming is for 850. So it seems like it's pretty much holding for the Ti side at least. And here's a 5070 Ti. Man, you know what? I'm kind of tempted for this. For the Intel build. What do you think, guys? But for the Intel build, we definitely got to figure out a GPU for it. We'll probably go 5070 Ti this time on the next build. And that'll be for the that's going to be based on Arrow Lake. And hopefully the refresh will be out soon because I want to try to go with the, like, say 270K or even the 290K. So I bought two CL30 DDR5 at the beginning of 2025 for 250 euros. And now purchase for 1,000 euros. Now that's factory fog built into motherboards need to just go away. You shouldn't have to tweak the BIOS when you get a new motherboard and run it at record speeds. So it's really good and unique. It is. It's awesome. I really like the look of it. Isn't that really crazy the way this looks? It's just a super attractive card. And it just has one fan on there. That's one blower. So this is great for anybody that's more of a production users. Because it's, again, you're not going to really end up using a fan. Unless you're just heavily pushing DaVinci. Or any type of 3D rendering. So, nope, I can tweak better. I don't trust... CS Squawk, here we go. Yeah, you just gave me an idea for the next upcoming poll. And you know what it's going to be? Here we go. This is going to be the next poll. Next poll is, this will be a funny one. Sure. Ready? This is going to be a funny one, guys. I think this one's going to be pretty hilarious, I think. Okay, so the next question here. Happy New Year's to everybody that is on the European side. You ready? Here comes the poll. Here it is. I can't wait. I know Lisu would cringe at this. I know Lisu would definitely cringe at this. Would you guys trust if there's AI tweaking in the motherboard? If AI can tweak your settings, will you trust it? Whether it's from Gigabyte, MSI, ASUS, doesn't matter the brand. Whatever brand of your choice. Would you trust AI to tweak your motherboard? You can put 1 or 2 to make... Wasabi says no. A lot of no. Based on what would it tweak? Like an overclock. Pretty much like an overclock. Anything that can do, like AI overclocking practically. Like if it can tweak your RAM settings, tweak your CPU, it will just use AI to kind of determine your settings. There's a lot to it too, you know, because everybody lives in different geolocations, right? Not everybody lives in, say, Switzerland, right? So just imagine that AI always assumes that it's Switzerland, and then it tries to determine the clocking settings then, because ambient temperature is a big part of it. Unless it somehow does an equation or has... Can you imagine a PC comes in, like you built a PC, and because it's a motherboard with AI that has a tool, like a calibration tool or a measuring tool to measure your ambient temperature, just so to say, in your room. A lot to know out there. A lot to know out there. I think I would trust more than I trust myself tweaking my board. I just plug in and play. Realistically, it's so funny to see all the news there. but I think it's not going to be our choice soon. AI motherboards have cool designs, but AI mind your business. Was this MSI design supposed to be mimic a FE look? It kind of does, right? The only difference about this, I gotta say, it kind of has like this, like almost like a fish scale look, right? Doesn't it? Has like that fish scale look. It's very interesting looking at, I gotta say. And I do notice powering advanced AI, and NVIDIA's really been pushing that. They really want to push out there that they are not just a gaming company, that they're an AI company. If I was like, we would say like have an ASUS account for motherboards, it would share data, and then when used the new motherboard, it would transfer. AI would be based on the old motherboard choice. That's a very interesting concept, I gotta say. I just don't like the color. I get it. Not everybody will like the bronze color. It kind of reminds me of the color of like the sapphire cards almost. I don't want my motherboard to know my consume of. I like that 5070 Ti. Of PMI. How about this one? I'm gonna throw a curveball, guys. Here. This one's gonna be a funny one, guys. Okay. I'm gonna throw. Here goes. So it seems like nobody's trusting AI on that side. So. There we go. Apologize for that. Would anybody trust the AI motherboard here by PNY? I like the MSI Expert 5070 Ti. Looks like the sapphire design has. Yes, that's exactly what it reminds me of. There we go. Would anyone trust a PNY motherboard? So you can vote 1 or 2. Also heard because both sides are metal, you can simply recolor. Oh, really? That's interesting. 2026 resolution. Wasabi says no. Also, someone on YouTube did it. Oh, really? Oh, that's pretty cool. I gotta see that.
Dracosaurus is now following.
Thank you for following Dracosaurus. Made it a white card. This is too funny, guys. Take a look. No PNY lovers out there. You know what's funny? Ace Rock actually did something right, which I'm going to. So nobody has any faith. Just came over from the YouTube chat. Awesome, awesome, Dracosaurus. So this is going to be pretty funny, guys. I'm going to go here to speaking of Ace Rock, speaking of off brands here, we're going back here. My buddy over Unico, he actually brought this up. Let's see, Unico. Let's go and check him out here. And this is, Ace Rock actually did something. Take a look at this, guys. So this is a tweet I wanted to share with you guys out there. Seems like nobody's, I don't see one yes. I would love to see the person that would say yes. I heard NVIDIA's going, yes. Mr. Currybun, you're not off. It's not a joke. It is a pretty serious business. So if anybody needs a GPU, please get it. I'm not trying to invoke fear, but just a fair warning for everyone who does want a PC. This from chatbot users have successfully disassembled the cards. Die-cast aluminum shroud painting it. That is interesting. That is really, send it over to Discord. I would love to check it out. We can definitely check it out there. Shenanworth would hit that one. Oh, absolutely it would. I think we're safe to say everybody would say no to this. So we're going to go take a look here. Unico has brought this up. So Ace Rock ATX. Now they have PSUs out there. Their 16-pin with thermal sensors built in it saved a user's shunt modded water-cooled liquid metal applied MSI 5090 Ventus from melting. So the 5090 drew as high as 1,350 watts in benchmarks. That is insanely way too hot. So the user found out the cable connector was slightly melted, turned dark onto the GPU side after the power supply had successfully shut down. So how would it work? The PSU electrical engineers put in improving a 16-pin. At the same time, we recommend you to use the 16-pin adapter instead. So they're actually, the good thing is they're not burning something this time. So good thing I got my 5080 in October. 16-pin power, they even know on AMD graphics. Remember? Yes, thank you, sorry officer. Back just arrived sweet home. Thank you for coming back, Blue Lily. This is why I don't think they will make a 5090 Super or 5090 Ti. The 5090 has 32 gigabytes of VRAM. I doubt NVIDIA releases a consumer card with even more VRAM when they could use it for AI or more money. Never forget. I will never forget that guy. In fact, I don't think it wasn't it 192 gigabytes? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 192 gigabytes there. We will double check though. It could be, but it's either way. He could have got a 5090 easy. But this is ASRock's PSU design. I've never even pondered about purchasing a power supply from ASRock. It never came across my mind. Not because I just don't like them because of the motherboards. I've actually had trust in them. In fact, I had a lot more faith in them in this upcoming generation. And I thought, hey, it would be nice to do a motherboard by ASRock until this whole 9800 X3 incident. But there's actually a bit more I got to share with you guys on that story, which I will share with you guys. Shoot, it might have been. I can't get a melted, but yes, isn't that crazy? That makes no sense, right, Takuma? So when the RAM, yes, when RAM costs more than gold, it's really is. It's crazy. So at least they were able to successfully not burn out a PSU. So take a look here. Let's take a look at the actual pin. This is the actual pin. Now take a look at that. That is monstrous. Think about this. It took 1,350 watts in benchmarks. That's highly insane. That is insane. I'm surprised it did not. That's double. That's double of what it should be. That's a bit more than double, but it did not melt. I gotta say, I gotta give my respects to ASRock. That's a selling point when it comes to a power supply. So, will 2026 a 500... Oh yeah, we'll start reverting backwards now. We're no longer going to gigabytes. We're going to revert to megabytes and back down to kilobytes. By the way, remember the dude that found a rocket? Yeah, it's crazy. They ended up they actually gave him his money back. It's insane. Plankton maximum. So at least for anyone that is thinking of power supply, I gotta say it's more than likely not a bad idea to go ASRock. I never thought to say that. I'm curious if they use Seasonic as part of their creators there. Technically, a 6090 should have 48. Yeah, it should. But I think the 6090, I think NVIDIA is going to come out with a whole completely different naming scheme when it comes to it. So, and this is what I got to say about the 9800 X3D. Let me see. I think Unico also brought it up. If not, I forget who brought it up. Somebody did. Let me see. Unico hasn't brought it up. Here goes the that's funny. Oh, they got shafted so hard with the Can you imagine getting the buying the Matrix in China, and they got pretty much shafted really hard about this because it does not perform nearly as well as a normal 5090. So I don't think we will see a 60. Yeah, it's going to be a bit. In fact, we won't see these new super cards. So that's a big takeaway. It's pretty sad. And you know what's crazy? Jensen Huang is going to go to CES 2026, but he's not going to prevent anything through GeForce. It's going to be strictly through AI capabilities with his new system on AI. In fact, he's going to go with Siemens and actually do a presentation with them. So unfortunately, there is definitely 100% nothing new on the end of when it comes to super cards. So for anyone hoping for a surprise, I'm like about 95% certain. Even I would say 100% certain, but nothing certain. 95% certain that we will not see any super cards. So 2027, we might build a $2,000 system with 7010 and 128 megabytes of DDR. Yeah, you know, it's almost like we're gonna go back into retro tech. That all the guys that are familiar with the wonderful IDE cables and back to those type of PS2 connectors go back to retro tech, right? AMD already said that they won't be dropping anything new for an extended period. Yeah, I could see that for sure. I am hoping though. I do have little tiny hopes for a new GPU, but because of this RAM issue, I have a feeling that certainly has taken quite a toll on AMD. AceRock GPU lives matters. 9800X3. I know, right? Back to the future. It's hilarious. Speaking, let me look it up. I'm going to look it up now because there was news about a 9800X3D. Let's take a look on the latest. Because this comes from a gaming cafe. This happened. There was 12 CPUs burned. Maybe video cards has it. Let me check video cards. We're going to go in video cards and see if they have it here. AceRock 8 then entered the 9950X3D and MSI Carbon year. So the 60 series will most likely second half 2027 and probably no super at all. It's possible. We might not even see a super, unfortunately. Because again, I don't see them wanting to spend a bit more onto like mid-tier models. They're mostly going to be focused on a lot. Oh, here we go. This is it. Yeah, he did report it. So right here, Internet Cafe owner, get this, claims 9800X3D CPUs failed out at 150 purchased. So 15 of them actually burned out. So immediately, what comes to your mind? Immediately, you're going to think AceRock, right? You're one of those who got the curse comp. We are getting the 9850. I think so. I'm 100%, not 100%. I keep saying 100% certain, but I would say I'm pretty certain that we'll hear it. And we have even the L2 and the L3 cache. We have ideas of what the sizes certainly can be. In fact, we'll actually pull it up on video cards. I'll definitely show it to you. So have 32 gigabytes of DDR5 with a 9060 XT and a AMD Ryzen 5 7500F. Oh, nice. It's not a bad combination there. They'll literally leaked with... Oh, really? Huh. That's got to be pretty dope looking, I got to say. You make me want to look that up. If they come out with the Area 51, that's pretty... That's a decent name for it. That's a great one they have. You know, I got to ask, what happened with the 9600X3D? We were supposed to get that this year, and we're already at the end of the days. And for some of you, it's already the new day for the new year. So we've never seen the 9600X3D go into the light. Yes, I was that combo. I got the combo, but it can happen with any brand. Just for yes. So now let's go and take a look at who it happened to. So a Redditor who says that they run an internet cafe. Yes, they're still around. They have seen about 15 dead AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3Ds out of 150 deployed. So the same user says he used the B650M As You Wish Wi-Fi motherboard. And if you guys are unfamiliar with As You Wish, Asus does manufacture the B650M motherboards by As You Wish. So, and they also used, I think this is also a big key that did hurt it. I've never heard of the supplier Hunt Key, which is the power supply that they chose. So we're definitely going to look that up just to get a decent consensus of what that is. So 9600X3D is the friends that we made along the way. Yes, exactly. I really wish we got that 9600 X3D. It would have been amazing. They should have just dropped it. Can you imagine 6 cores, 12 threads? That would have been perfect for it. I mean, they have the 7600 X3D. Why not the 96? It would make more sense. But so he says. So I'm more curious if Hunky is more the culprit here. It could be the motherboard as well, but I haven't heard it as often. But he did specify they're mostly Hunky power supplies. So I got it basically for 950 euros that are about $1,114 now. I think 1,200 euros is about. What's up, Lee? What's going on? Yeah, so let's take a look at Hunky. Let's look at Hunky. 850 watt. Now we got to do our own investigation here, right? So we're going to look up Hunky and to see who it's by. Hunky, here it is, plus gold. And here it is. So this is Hunky. And let's see who sells it. We're going to go to the shopping side and get a decent idea of who sells it. So Micro Center actually, is it Hunky? I see Power Spec, but that isn't right. That's a bad sign, guys. I don't even see Hunky come up. Hunky, no, it does not come up. So that's not a good sign. More than likely, it's probably a sketchy a sketchy type. Oh no, you got more snow up there? Oh, yeah, it was cold. For you guys, yeah, maybe. That's a great question. Oh, you got more snow, Lee? That's terrible. It actually was freezing for us this morning, and we hit as low as 45 degrees this morning. That was quite a shocker. 45 degrees Fahrenheit is about 45 degrees Fahrenheit is about equal to, I'd say, like about like 5. No, I would say more like 6. About 6 to 7 degrees Celsius, I would say. About 6 to 7 degrees Celsius. It was pretty damn cold this morning in Miami, I gotta say. Is that humping? Is that humping? It's questionable. Hunky. So it's called MVP K850. Oh, this is completely not. Can't be this, right? Oh, no. Yes. Okay. Now it makes sense. Okay. Now it makes complete sense. It's definitely, I gotta say, I don't think it was, it's safe to assume it's not the motherboards. Seeing who it's by, yes. That is the reason. It was single digits for me today. Oh man. The funny thing is I actually wore some wool socks because I felt like it was that cold. I wore wool socks and I had I had 2 shirts on and a hoodie. And I also I had to make sure to stay warm. And I had the heat on too in the car. CS Squad glutes tights while tweaking. I tried to find it. That looks like isn't it? Doesn't it? Look at that. Come on, look at that power there, guys. Prime example. I'm going to be, you know what though? It's going to get cold in the desert, so I'm gonna. It was a good. It's good weather to get familiarized with the cold because the body gets pretty damn cold too. But it's not only on memory, and also yes, that is correct. And also soon it's going to be GPUs as well. Take a look at that tornado right there. I mean, doesn't that just ask for power? And then if you let's read this real quick, guys. Let's read this together. The fan continues, right? It sounds bad already. The fan continues to run for 60 seconds after shutting down. This avoids hotspots, removes remaining waste heat, and ensures complete system cooling. Oh man, that's sketchy. Extremely silent, but the fan has a delay mode on there, so when you do put it to sleep, it will run for 1 minute, but I promise you it's silent. So, but it's the PS, yeah, it does. It looks like they grabbed some of MSI's PSUs and kind of rebuilt them. Actually, that Pre-built Area 51 looks cool. That's what I'm curious about. That Area 51 pre-built. I will look that up, Alda. I'm definitely going to look that up. So let's read. So what do you think? It's very so the SSD scams are existent. So they do exist. I've proved it actually on lives here, where if you go onto any website such as, like, say you go into AliExpress or Temu, they will sell Samsung 980 or 990 drives. They look like it, but they're technically not truly a 990 drive, which actually we could breeze over it real quick too, as well, as I do want to explain that out there for everybody that does purchase a SSD. You have to be mindful if you are purchasing anything used in the PC market, especially when it comes to things such as SSDs. So, but at least there's not doing black for it. Or is it hawk to it? Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I could click on it too. Awesome. So I'll click on it. Oh, that's it. So this is it here. Huh. That is nifty looking. Let me bring it up here on the browsing side. Let's see. Let me lock all this other stuff up so I don't move anything. There we go. Nope. Let me see right here. There we go. Now you guys can see it. There. But that's it. The Elegant Area 51 gaming PC. That actually looks pretty dope. Yeah, when you see Alibaba at Samsung, yes, do not buy it. We will talk about, like, what their drives look like. Okay, I just want to read this real quick because I think it's pretty hilarious. Because it has high power output, multiple protections. I like how they emphasize multiple protections. Soundless fan. Soundless fan, right? Modular cables. So it's soundless. So it promises, let's see what the decibel rating is, because I'm just curious about it. It's got to have some sort of decibel rating here on sound. So let's go down. Where is it at? They show sound waves, but they're not showing the decibel rating, guys. we will find it though. That doesn't look sketchy at all, right, guys? Right here. Here we go. Specifications. Oh man, I'm just laughing
Phoenix
reading at
Vixen
this.
Subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. Now, guys, now all jokes aside, do not buy a sketchy power supply, especially if you're building a expensive PC. You will just end up hurting your PC more than anything. You say you built a PC, even just for like $2,000, which is a decent high-end PC. You will destroy it. And this is an example of it. He probably damaged not just the CPU, but I'm pretty sure he damaged the motherboard. He's lucky not more got damaged along the way. So you don't want to spend $2,000 because you don't want to spend $50 or $60 more on a decent PSU. So just purchase a decent PSU and you will be grateful, because that PSU will last you at least will last you through the life of the PC usually. If you ever have to upgrade it, then it's more so because you ended up getting more of, say, like the lower grade one, but at least you know it won't short out your PC like how this did. It shorted out the processor and gave a bit too much power to it. So, Samsung. So I even got ads on YouTube for one, and them 16 terabyte drives for 80 euros, a very trustworthy, and an advertisement there, 8 terabytes standing on PC. Oh, oh really? Oh wow, that's sketchy. I can't believe YouTube is advertising false advertisements such as that. But again, it's everywhere, and let's go. We'll go on Temu in a bit too, as well, and we'll take a look here. But it does the. Okay, just to emphasize, just to go back on the specifications, it is very important for everybody. Now, just mind you, I'm just being sarcastic here. The box is a colorful box. It has to be a colorful box. Otherwise, it's no good. If you get a PSU, it is very important that the box is colorful. So, okay, like if they put this into the specifications, I would automatically assume this is just trash. The fan is 12 centimeters? What? So again, this is not professional PC talk here. They should list it properly at 120 millimeters and not at 12 centimeters. Again, this is questionable. All the language here is very questionable when it comes to specifications. So you do want to purchase a decent PSU, guys. So I thought people are bad when they got sketchy PSUs, but now I think it's more horrifying when people buying quality PSUs, but mixing up the cables, throwing away excess cables. Yes, do not do that. The cables are important. You want to keep them. I have drawers loads full of cables. Now, in case if anybody ever needs any brand cables, and you need a specific one, I got drawers full of Corsair, Seasonic, you name it. I have probably just about every power supply you can imagine, except Hunky. I do not have Hunky's power supply. Oh man, how sketchy is this? Now, the safety standard is CCC and dimensions. Okay. Do not get this. Again, look at the fan. 12 centimeter ball fan. No power supply company will call it a 12 centimeter ball fan. In fact, they will call it 120 millimeter. Proper term would be ball bearing fan, not ball fan. And it was saying that the price of chocolate, which costs about 90. Virtue. Yes, Virtue. Let's go back to Virtue power supplies. Okay, let's go to Alienware. Let's go back to a bit more serious talk here. Wow, that's a bit more expensive than I thought it was, but it does look pretty. Now that is pretty dope. I like the name idea. Alien 51 just simply suits it. I gotta shake their hand for coming up with Area 51. It just makes sense. Like, I'm surprised they haven't came up with this name a long time ago. But that is beautiful. That is a beautiful pre-built PC, I gotta say. Now, I don't usually like pre-built PC, guys, and usually I don't promote pre-built PCs. I usually go for everyone to build their own PCs. Now, I'm a bit curious on the backing here. Now, on the back here, I'm curious what this lock does. Does that lock the case? Okay, so they have buttons to pop it open. That's really interesting. See, they actually have pop buttons here. So they're actually spring-assisted buttons that you actually can push, and it looks like it will actually pop out with this. So I'll actually use a spring to pop it out, which is pretty decent. And it looks like up here, you can actually loosen it. I'm curious what this screw is up here. So I bought my PC from Debaro. How's that going? So it does have, it looks like USB 3, standard USB 3 here, as it's 5 gigabits per second. And I would assume this is probably USB 3.2 Gen 2. And then it does have USB-C, has 4 USB-C ports lined up. And this looks like this is power delivery. Now, it could be power delivery. And then it has an Ethernet port. We have to go into specifications and really figure out how fast it goes. I would assume it goes as fast as 5 gigabits per second, as that's the standard for a lot of X870E boards, assuming that's what it is. Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like how expensive like memory originally was, and now it's just like how cheap we could have had it, and now look at the pricing. There's people out there that wish they bought boxes of memory at that price. Takuma actually ended up picking up for a great deal for his Trident Z Neos. Yeah, he got some Royal Z's, which is awesome. That's a really awesome deal I actually picked up. At the time, it seemed expensive, but actually ended up doing really well. So we make fun of Alienware PC here in Switzerland because when you separate Alienware, it says Alien. Oh, really? So what is the hardest game you are on now? Probably, I would say the hardest game I'm playing is probably Elden Ring. But I haven't got to go back on it because I'm still stuck on that skin. I think it's the skin god or skin reaper. I forget what you call him. But I'm still in that cave. I still haven't beat him yet. I haven't gone back to it. But that was the game I was currently playing. I got to get back to him and beat his ass. Yes, still Elden Ring. And I know Lee can agree. So I'm so glad that I went DDR5 and I've upgraded to DDR3. Yes, that's right. That's the way to go. It's now retro tech. So it does have its 3 display ports, and it does have HDMI 2.1, and you do have your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth power supply down here. And it does look like, I think, okay, so from looking at this, I bet this is a dust filter. It probably slides out if you unscrew it. So if you unscrew this, it probably slides out into a dust filter. Now the front of it, kind of reminds me of, I have to say, it kind of reminds me of those Mac PCs, like the way the front looks. It does have the USB-C. Like, it almost has, it looks better though than the Mac systems, because the Mac systems look a bit more like a cheese grater in my opinion. Happy New Year's, King Claus. Didn't touch the DDR4 due to, yes. And the thing is, it still holds value. Crazy enough that I was looking at to expand my DDR4 actually on this build, and because it's only at 64 gigabytes, and that's like nothing for a Threadripper. This could go up to as high as, I think it's 512, I think it is, but I haven't pushed it even close to that. It is a decent case. Oh, awesome! Thanks for subscribing, Simplicity. So looking on the side, I do like the look of it though. It's simple, but it's beautiful. This is what really stands out. I like the look of it. Now looking at the motherboard, I'm assuming, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm looking at the screws the way they are, and I'm trying to see if it is an ATX size. And from the looks of it, it does look ATX, so if anyone wanted to, they can probably swap it out if you wanted a case like this. But it does look ATX. And it does have, let's see, let's look a bit closer here. Now, what throws me off here is this. Now, this is throwing me off here. I'm looking at it. I'm looking for the ATX cable. I'm assuming, is that the ATX cable? And it has multiple ports to that motherboard. So it's a very unique motherboard here. That's obviously going to be USB-C here. And down here on the bottom, now you have, of course, you have your typical cables, your USB cables, your SATA cables. Huh. Very interesting setup, I gotta say, for the most part. And it looks like they got the drive on the bottom here. That's what certainly stands out as well. I messaged Corsair because they don't have it available. Let me know what they say. Because Corsair has been sending out some fake lighting kits out there, unfortunately. I'm curious to see what they say. It happened twice, in fact, that I've seen. And I thought it was a bad move. Holding on to hardware for a future build would be a bit cheaper. True, the stroke was caused by... Oh, that is a smart move, Matthew. You made a smart move. Anybody that purchased RAM in the early stages, that's a great move because, I mean, I stacked up on much RAM as I could. I still got to get one more kit. But even though I got all crucial kits, I am happy for what I have. It's on its way to my skybox at my awesome. And it will come to Trinidad and Tobago. Great. So now taking a look at Temu. If we take a look at Temu and we look for SSDs here, so this is a big issue. Let's see if we get the wonderful Temu wheel of choice here. See if we can get the score in SSD, right? A Samsung, say 9100. See if they have it. Looks like they got rid of that wheel. I guess there was too much controversy behind it. Colorful has a new 9600 mega transfers. Oh yeah, do they? I wonder who their DRAM manufacturer is, out of curiosity. I do know that I bet they are going to come heavy. Take a look at the recent searches here. All right, so let's take a look at Samsung M.2 drives. That's what we will look up. You might be looking, but you're going to get... Yes, that is right, Waffle Skater. That is completely correct. I think I would get something out of it, but I might not. So legit, I opened my YouTube and you came up, and my feed is that. Oh, I'm glad that it is certainly enjoying it, Chevs. Now let's take a look here. We have a Samsung 9100 SSD. Now, again, that seems like pretty much normal pricing for the most part. That is the pricing for it. No, it's not, because this says storage 1 terabyte. Why does it say 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, and 4 terabytes? And then it says storage 1 terabyte. And this is the kind of BS that you have to deal with when you do go through something like Temu. Now that, again, a price like this should be 2 terabytes and not 1 terabyte. But again, it's no surprise. All right, let's go back here. Okay, here we go. This is a perfect example of a sketchy SSD. Now, it looks like a Samsung 990 Pro. Or is it? Now, this is a really good example of a really I'm sorry, guys. This is just hilarious. Take a look, guys. 990 Pro. Where's the Samsung at? Samsung usually loves their name, so they will plaster it everywhere they could. But, and of course, this is not it. This is 100% not a great purchase to go ahead to go through. And this is a good example of why you should not purchase something off of Temu. Because, again, this is not a NVMe that you're looking for. And I guarantee you, when you get it, it's not going to be anywhere near to the storage it tells you. There's been cases out there that... I like that, Waffle Skater. Even Helen Keller said that's a total fraud. Yeah. So... oh, that's too funny. So if anyone does make a purchase with this, it might say 1 terabyte, but you might end up with 1 megabyte. And this is a very common occurrence that happens when people end up purchasing a fake NVMe. It might even look like when you put it in your system, they can actually make it look like it says like 1 or 2 terabytes. It might look like it. But as soon as you store something in there, something that is, say, 120 gigabytes, just a random number out there, you just put something that's 120 gigabytes into that drive, it won't even accept it. It'll say capacity is full. It'll say it's 2 terabytes, but it may not really be a full 2 terabytes. Yes, just like John Cena. I ordered a Senseway 27-inch monitor. No, I have not. That is a very interesting choice. No, I am not. You won't make me look it up, though. I am curious. Is it? I'm assuming Temu. Let's look on Temu. Senseway 27. Let's take a look. KTC, Xiaomi. Let's see. Golfolk. Some crazy names here. AOC. Kato. Maine. They even got Maine. 212 Maine. What the hell is 212 Maine? No. Okay. We'll try looking up on Google instead, because it's not on Temu. I went with the 240 hertz. Yeah, it sounds like a sketchy brand. Oh, not this. Senseway 27 inches. Okay. I bet it's from the name. It sounds sketchy. 300 hertz for $194. It has 4.4 stars of a review. Now, it is a 2.5K display for anyone looking for it. Yes. And that's where exactly I found it, is right on Amazon. Hey, my cats love their... Oh, do they really? They got... Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it kind of... Let's take a look at it. It does look like... What does that look like to you? What does that design look like to you right there? I want to see if anybody guesses this too. It looks kind of similar to a brand I'm thinking of here. Man, look at yes. The real question is, Sansui, are they going to be at CES? G9 42-inch G9. That'd be. I'm really curious to see how Samsung's displays are going to be. How about this for Project Weeb, guys? Looks like, yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of. Reminds me of the stand arm of one of my Samsung monitors. You know, I got a funny story. What's it? AOC? It was it was Spectre. Let me tell you guys, I have a story about Spectre that these guys are hilarious. Now, if you guys are familiar with Spectre, they make displays for PCs. Now, they're not the best displays that you can get for PCs. This was, again, a while ago that I received this email from them. It's legit Spectre. I don't even think I kept it because it was that long ago. But anyway, they ended up contacting me and asked if I wanted a Spectre monitor to put on the channel and give it a thorough review, a long review. And at the time, I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and do it. So I said, yeah, sure. I'll review your monitor. And they asked me to pick from their selection, so I made their pick. And after I made the selection, they said, yeah, so after you get the monitor, you have to send it back. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. So they wanted me to review a monitor and then send it back to them. Can you believe that? Spend all my time to make this video for them, and they want me to review this monitor and send it right back to them. How crazy is that? So, reminds me of the same. Yeah, that's exactly. That's what it reminded me of. Oh, they got a video, guys. We could definitely we could check out the videos. Waifu Zebronics is fine. Told the office not for gaming or editing. The company was bought over. Oh, were they? Are they paying good? Sansui. Exactly. Is this I know, it's crazy. Here we go. This guy called Newman Unboxing. I guess he got this on Sway monitor here, guys. Let's see. And they're opening the monitor. I can already see the box looks sketchy. Okay. Premium protection, they said. 12 months warranty. They give you the display cable. I don't know about, you see that? Okay. All right, let's go back here, guys. You see that display adapter? That's a big no-no. You know why? You know, that is going to be a trash monitor. The reason being is because anything that you see like this, when it comes with a display, they should have a power supply, not an adapter. So if you do get a monitor, do not get something like this. This is guaranteed to end up breaking over time. That monitor is going to break. That is that. So do not get this monitor. Cancel it. Do yourself a favor. That is no good. That is not a good monitor. Oh, really? Yeah. You have Sansui in your local electronics store. Because you can't plug 12 months. Oh, well, you're the rule. Yeah, it should be at least the minimum. Like any good monitor company, any good display company will give you a 3-year warranty at the minimum. 36 months is what you want to look for in a monitor. After that 12th month, consider it dead. Because the reason being is because they only give 2 months for that monitor because they expect that monitor to go at the 13th month. Now, again, all companies can be a bit shady when it comes to this side, when it comes to the manufacturer's warranty, because you would assume any product after the years. For example, a decent power supply. Let's go to Corsair, for example. You go to Corsair, we look up their power supply, and how long do you think their PSU warranty? How long do you think their PSU warranty is? Now, take a look here. Now, this is their limited warranty. And if you take a look at it, let's see, right here. We're going to look at their warranty list here. Now, if you go to their power supply, let me hurry up and look. There we go. Right there. We're going to click this. Okay. So PSUs. This is when it's a decent PSU company. The HXI has 10-year warranties. Okay, RM power supplies have 5-year warranties, and anything that's 2019 and newer has 10-year warranties. RMI's 10 years. RME series 7 years. So that's a decent power supply. That's how you know when you have a decent power supply. They might not make the greatest cables, but at least their product is good. It's decent, especially for the price. Now, let's go back to Sansui here. Okay? That adapter right there is a big red flag. You buy a monitor and you see this. You're buying a used monitor and you see this. Do not buy it. It is trash. I know that warranty card has at least 2 years warranty. Corsair has a GPU. No, unfortunately they don't. They have SSDs. Yes, exactly. So I'm using the Sansui to. Oh, really? The power co-ed and power supply looks much nicer than what they showed. Okay, I hope it's a bigger. Usually power supplies, when it's a decent monitor, I'll show you a good example of a decent one. We'll take a look at even, say a decent brand. Nothing too crazy. Acer Predator. They have decent monitors here. Now they're not the best when it comes to monitors, but at least they're decent. Now let's take a look here. We'll look at the Predators. Yes, Vantex has 8 years. Like anytime you purchase any, I'm from India. Yes, it's a decent. It is a very decent RAM kit. So if you get that RAM kit, you'll be happy with it. If you were able to pick it up, that's awesome. Oh, really? I'm surprised. So I have the 1000 watt tough PSU. They are good, Venix, because the reason why they also use Seasonic to help create the power supplies for ASUS. So technically, when you do buy an ASUS power supply, you're buying an ASUS power supply. I mean, you're buying a Seasonic power supply. So you are going to make out on it. Okay, so at least we have Sorry Officer. He can claim by it. Now, let me see. Let's see if we can see. Now it has me curious at looking at the power supply here. Here we go. Let me see some sort of unboxing here. Let's see. This is more of seeing the monitor.
Setup was a breeze.
Nope, we don't care for that. Let's go to the realistic photos here. Okay, so that's the display port. I want to see the full unboxing here. Let's see. I get that. Let's see. No, they don't have it. Well, a decent power supply. Well, actually, a decent power supply would look similar to, if you're familiar with how a laptop charger looks like. It's going to have a brick typically with it. It might not be the largest brick, but they should have a brick. That's where the power supply should have the heat. Reason why it's not good to have a monitor such as that, like ones with the plugs just like that, is because all the heat is going to dissipate into the monitor, and eventually it's going to get damaged because of it. I never see Fantex in Germany. Really? They're pretty big, I would think. Mine has a power cord with a regular grounded power cord with a transformer mid cable. That sounds a bit more normal. Now, a decent. Okay, we're gonna have to look it up. So I'm gonna look up, say, this monitor. This Acer Predator gaming monitor power supply. It's gonna look like something like this. Here we go. So it should look a bit more like this. That's when you have a decent power supply. It should look a bit more like that. That would be something that would be plugged into a monitor. If you purchase anything like from Sansui, like how their monitors are, like specifically that model, that specific one we just ended up looking up, that real cheap one, all the heat will not be collected into that power supply. Instead, it's just going to go to that monitor. It's just not good. Oh, there you go. Takuma can definitely explain it. So, again, let's look up Sansui. Maybe they have a better line. Let's look for a more expensive version. Maybe their more higher end version has a better one. Because maybe it's that specific model. It seems like this is their more expensive one. But let's take a look at their store and see if we find anything decent there. And okay, this is their store. Okay, we're gonna go to their gaming side. Okay, so let's look for their high-end one here. And their highest end one that they do have, I see is 300 hertz. That's the one we just looked at though. Maybe it's a different monitor. Let's try looking at this ultra wide. We'll look at this ultra wide. Okay, so that makes sense then. So that one that they showed is completely different. Yes, so which one between those two? If you're to pick between those two, I would say go with, honestly, it doesn't matter. As long as if they're both 6,000 megahertz. Because they're both going to be using the SK Hynix. At that point, it's going to be like a preference. Which one would you prefer to have in your PC?
Hazards, subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at their unboxing. Maybe they have something a bit more fair. Here we go.
Hey, I'm here with a simple and fast review of the Sansui 34-inch ultra-wide curved gaming monitor. We're going to open it up. We're going to show you what it looks like.
I think it's supposed to be called Sansui, not Sansui.
So as we get the box open,
because sway
there's
means
a number of
wooder.
different parts and pieces. Obviously, you're going to have your stand and your words, all that stuff. So we're just going to get this out of the box and start putting it together.
Yes, that's what mine has. Happy New Year's! Night cloudy.
Curved. Wait, you probably can't.
Okay, we get it's curved.
Your,
there you go. That's a more decent power supply. I have no idea what they were showing here.
Like a typical laptop cable. And then, of course,
that makes a bit more sense.
Power.
So this is what you have. My 34-inch has 4. Yeah, there you go. Hey, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying there is better ones. That's a great question. Can anyone help answer this? I would love to have one. Go with 850 watts. Yeah, yes, 850 watts would do. But Takuma is the man. He will definitely hear him out on that. Step one, go to Venezuela. Okay. Oh man, I did. It is a pretty funny story though. You gotta. This story is hilarious. I will also say that my Sansui was very well boxed and packed. So pretty much like his, right? Because you had the ultra wide version.
So that all.
Let's take it out. Let's see.
Pieces. You'll see all your connections, and I'm trying to minimize what I show you here because there's, I guess,
okay,
some QR codes and stuff like that. So
I'm assuming that the stand looks plastic. Now there's nothing wrong with plastic, but I gotta say it would definitely be better to have a monitor arm for it too. If it is a plastic
disconnected, it comes in and then it will go ahead and connect, or you'll be able to connect.
Is the base metal? It has to be, I would assume, metal, right? The base, or is it plastic? Sansui has been around for a long time. They made some of the... Really? They've been around that long? I had no idea. Really? So I could be wrong about them. So I set a quick pic of my PC. It's nothing too extreme. Okay, so let's take a look at his PC here. The mismatch. Let's see. Here we go. Here it is. All right. So here goes one. Switch it over to Discord. Judgment time. Okay, here we go. So it looks like you have a Corsair 4000 PC. I mean, Corsair 4000 case. I do like the case. It looks like you have the Asus e-gaming. Is that correct? Asus it looks like Asus Strix e-gaming motherboard. And it also has the Corsair H150, I would like to say, the Elite. And I'm assuming you have Corsair Vengeance RAM, about 32 gigabytes. And you have I'm guessing a RTX 5070 Ti or 5080. Tough, I'm assuming. The base alloy is on mine. Okay. I would figure it has to have some sort of weight just to prevent the display from falling over. I got the Corsair 4000X. Can send back the photo until I get back. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what it was, a 4000X. But the GPU is a 4090. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I'm thinking, and because I was thinking of the 4090, so that makes more sense. 4090 makes more sense because when I was thinking, I don't think any of them have RGBs, like the new tough cards. So yeah, I was off on that one. But no, it's a decent build for the most part. It looks like you're using the is that Corsair's regular case fan, the 140 millimeter in the back, or is it 120? It might be 120 from the looks of it. It's hard to see the front of the fans. Yes. No, those are nice cases. I'm expecting Corsair will have a new reiteration of the 4000D. I would love for them to show up at CES, but they never go to CES, believe it or not. They're like one of the only companies that don't go to CES, but they go to Computex. My GPU is a really basic 1080 card because of cost. Being the fact I can't work anymore and I don't know if still healing, I don't know if they would medically retire me unfit. Oh, I see. If that's the case, I know that's a bit rough because all GTX cards, I know that NVIDIA has decided to stop doing updates on anything that's in the GTX series. So getting an RTX card would certainly definitely help you out, I know, in the near future, but it depends on the type of games you also play. So if you play games like Counter-Strike 2, for example, then it wouldn't be as necessary. But if you're playing more demanding games, like such as Unreal Engine 5 games, or if you're playing games that are a bit more modern, of course, then it would require a bit more power to those cards. So MSI lighting, the new big monster in the GPU market. I did end up getting that's actually a decent card, the 6600 Challenger. It's funny because I know somebody that actually has a 6800 XT. He loves that card too. He's had that for a while. Wish I had 2 more of those RAM sticks. It has the potential for 1440. Yes, it does. What type of games do you play, Simplicity? Out of curiosity, what type of games do you play? Let's go back over to the browser here. And but yeah, it's not a bad PC. That's actually decent. I like the colors of it. And again, 4090 is still a beast. If anyone has a 4090, hold that card dearly with your life. I wish I never sold mine. I actually wish I kept it. It's a great card to have. It has a potential for so yeah, let us know the type of games you play. So again, some people attest to this. I can be wrong about the monitor. Would love to put it head to head, Sansway up against like another monitor. Of course, it might be great for a budget monitor out there. For something that's 240 hertz, 1340. I'm just really curious how it competes wise. I'm curious about the color accuracy. I'm curious about a lot of things about this monitor. But so far, it seems like nobody has any complaints about it, so that's a good thing. Fortnite Fishing Simulator 2G. Oh, yeah. So you don't really require too much, nothing too crazy. Ark Survival, yeah, you don't really need as much of a demand. It's more so if you require games such as like TPM 2.0, as that's more a bigger, like when it comes to things like say Battlefield, which has to do a bit more with a more up-to-date system. That's a big problem when it comes to anybody that wants to play games like Battlefield 6 or Black Ops 7, and expect that to happen a bit more in more modern games for sure. And you know what game I haven't got to play back? I really want to play is Arc Raiders. That's a game I've been dying to play. I only got to play it once on the stream. 4090 held well because of the kind of sad of the 5080 specs. So I have a 5700 XT. I took it apart and repasted it and made sure the thermal pads were good. I'm planning to build with it for older games like Uncharted 4. Awesome. I play Cyberpunk 2077, Blender, Unreal Engine 5, and Substance, and WoW. Okay, that's not too bad of a mix though. So the hardest game you're really throwing at it, really. So you're throwing quite a bit at it, actually. The amount of people who sold their 4090s for cheap, I feel bad for them. Everybody who thought that they were going to get a 5090 upgrade and sold their cards like for $800 or $900, just imagine how terrible they feel. They must really be kicking themselves. I'm glad I didn't sell it for that cheap, but it was, I think I ended up selling mines. I sold mines as a whole build. So it came with the 4090. I sold it with the 7950 X3D. So it was a very decent PC. And I sold it, I felt like, at a very fair price. Because, again, I'm just selling it just to make sure somebody else out there gets it for a fair price. I ended up selling it for $2,500, I think. Yeah, $2,500 for the whole PC build. Let's see. Arc Raiders. You want to play Arc Raiders, Lee? Wish I would know and bought a 4090. But right now, the price is crazy. It just seems like it's just an upward spiral. Again, prices are not stagnating when it comes to RAM. We can easily go over to Micro Center and we can take a look at a RAM kit right now, and I bet it's going up again. My friend does the streaming aspect, but his system... Oh, wow, that's insane. So you got Arc Raiders. Oh, yeah, we got to do it. We all got to play Arc Raiders, Lee. Waffle Skater at 380. Let's take a look. Is it 380? Maybe 250 at the lowest is my guess. All right, let's take a look. We're going to look at, say, CL36. Really basic RAM. We're not looking at a kit together. So let's take a look. CL36. All right, really basic kit. You ready, guys? Okay, so the lowest that they have is $369.99, and that's for CL36, guys. 460. So it's been holding. Now it's been holding pretty steady. Corsair Vengeance went up like $10. So it was originally like 406, but that went up $10. Freaking Corsair, man. He's partner on both green and purple. Oh, that's pretty dope. Okay, drop the PC in Discord battle stations. Awesome. Well, definitely. I followed your tutorial for the installation. It was... Oh, nope. I'm glad you found it very useful. Thank you for watching it. Let's take a look at... Real quick, we'll take a look at Darkstyle's PC. We'll take a look on Discord here. And on battle stations. Oh, that's pretty dope looking. I can't wait to share this one. This one's a nice one. This one's really nice. I like the style. I love the colors. We're going to bring it up here. So he used a height Y70 case here. Obviously has that wonderful display. It looks like a Ventus GPU, I would assume. Like, it's hard for me to see the motherboard, so I can't really see it. But it looks like an Asus board because of the heat spreaders up on the plate up on the top. It looks like for your VRM. No, maybe it's MSI actually. Maybe it's more closer to MSI. It's really hard to tell with the dark colors. You use Seasonic power supply, I would assume. And Lian Li fans. Let's see. Now you can now you can kill me over the Ventus. Yeah. Let's take a look. Y70, 9950 X3D, MSI Ventus, yeah, 5090, 64 Corsair Dominator DDR5. It has two Samsung 990 Pros, 4 terabytes, MSI Carbon, Lian Li Edge 1300. Okay, that was close. The TYRX. How do you like that cooler, by the way? Out of curiosity, I'm really curious how you think of that cooler. It's a really dope. I love the panoramic display on it. It's really amazing, I gotta say. Is that a corner a touchscreen? It should be a. You mean the on the display on the height Y70? I'll let him answer it for you. Not to diss the Ventus, but it's just an ugly car. I get it. I'm not a fan of the Ventus either. Personally, to me, I don't like Ventus. I always prefer something definitely outside of the MSI line. Besides that, I would go with, if I were to pick, I would go Trio or the Supreme if I were to pick the 5090 side. Because personally, for me, I felt like I had a terrible experience with Ventus. I know most people who had the Ventus, especially during the 2080 Ti time, it seems that they've experienced issues with it as well. So I would 100% go with like the Trio or the Supreme. The screen blocks airflow from DVRMs. Oh, really? Oh, no. That's not good. And so it gets pretty hot, I would assume. It gets pretty hot back there. Let's see. Take a look back here into Discord. Seems like we got a few on PC hardware side. What undervolt would I have to run on a 9070 XTS? Oh yeah, speaking of which, to all my members out there, just to update you guys, to my wonderful members at the roundtable, just to let you guys know that when it comes to the member streams, once that comes up, we will I will be looking through the member streams through Discord. So I will be able to read them. But at CES will be different. You can use the regular chat like you usually do. But if I'm doing the stream on Saturday, and once we go to the member stream, you can chat normally like you do on Discord, and it will pop up on the stream. So we will be using that instead. So that way both Twitch and YouTube can communicate with each other that way, instead of just using my social stream to have everything into one, because unfortunately YouTube doesn't allow social stream to go on member streams for some reason. Just to give you guys a heads up. So if you guys aren't part of the roundtable, make sure to join. Again, it's not expensive at all. You can take a look. Join the roundtable. It's going to be completely worth it, especially for the CES coverage coming up. If you join the roundtable, you will certainly be the first to look and get exclusive looks and pics and videos once we get to CES. So, King Claus asks, what is the price for a 5090 in the US? That all depends on what type of 5090 you're buying. So what you're saying is Twitch only stream and sub only mode? Yes, pretty much. Yeah, Twitch only streams and sub only mode. Once we go to the CES, like for some of the streams, it will certainly be for that. For you guys, will definitely get the first look for, like, say, we'll figure it out. You guys will certainly get the first look though. So going back to the browser side, King Claus asked about the 5090. So we'll take a look at it. I'm sure you guys have an idea of it. Let me just go over some of the pricing real quick when it comes to Micro Center here for anybody that is curious about what the pricing is looking like if you are trying to do some sort of PC build. Now, unfortunately for everybody, if you are doing a PC build, your best option is to get the kit. Do not buy the RAM separately. If you do that, you will regret it, because you can get a AMD bundle for much cheaper. So if you take a look at, like, say, AMD bundle, you can actually do a $500 deal. In fact, even $530 if you want a bit more of a newer processor. You get a 9700X. I see what you mean. They did change everything to Crucial now. You get a B650 Gaming X, a AX, a Crucial Pro 32 gigabytes, and you also get the you can actually upgrade it if you want. If you don't want this one, you can actually upgrade to the Ice Edition if you want. If you upgrade to the Ice Edition, it's an extra, say, $20. Now, for you guys that aren't fans of, say, Gigabytes boards, you can get the, say, the 7800X 3D. You can get the Asus B650E Tough. Now, if you get this motherboard, you can get the upgraded version, which is the X870E, which allows you much more capabilities and much more lanes when you are using this motherboard. So Europe said, so Europe said, Alda says, Europe 5090, 2800, 2900 is the cheapest ones. Now, thank you.
Dark Style Tech is now following.
Oh, it's no problem. Dark Style, thank you for coming over on the Twitch side. I always appreciate my Twitch viewers and subbers. So I always, So any of you guys are also welcome to follow through Twitch. So I set my build in Discord. Okay, awesome. Let's take a look here. We are going to go to Discord real quick and take a look at this. So we are going over to battle stations and take a look at this build here. So we have the height. Let me bring this up some so you guys can see it. Now, this is Red Devil's build. He has a height Y70 touch, X870E Ors Pro, 9800 X3D, 32 gigabytes, 4080 Arrow, and 4 terabytes of 990 Pro. Kraken Elite. I like the cooler is excellent. Anybody who's thinking of a Kraken cooler, it's a great one to get. I love Infinity fans, by the way. That is an awesome choice. I'm really excited for that. Oh, man, I love it. Is that Mortal Kombat you got up in the front, too? I'm assuming that's Mortal Kombat. If I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that is quite beautiful. I do love that build. Let me see. The only thing that would kill anybody is probably the black cable. But again, that's nothing you can do about that. But that is awesome. No, I was wrong. Is it Ghost of Tsushima? Oh, of course. That is awesome. I love it. I love the colors. You did great on this build. Man, it's seamless. I gotta say, that's a good one. I love this build. Wow, I spelled so many. It's beautiful. It's clean. That's why it's amazing. It's very rare to get like a pure white build like this. You took a great picture, by the way. Like just even capturing the essence of your fan spinning. This would be great, even just like for your. I love it. Definitely love this build. Here, this one's Takuma's build here. If anyone's curious about the Fantix build, take a look at all them fans there. Isn't that crazy? That's an awesome build too. He has. You can show mine. Yeah, you know what's funny? I just showed it. Yeah, you know what's funny? He has the Gigabyte Ors Master RTX 5090. And it even comes with the white bracket, which is pretty dope. His is a Fantix case. Can you suggest a good liquid cooler? Power supply, good airflow cabinet for my PC build above. Let me see. You're right above Takuma. Sure, we can take. Why did you? I can owe it. Hey, if you front me the money, I can build you another one. I'll build you another one, Lee. How's that sound? If you want to do a different build, let me know. We can do it. So, I love it though. I definitely love it though. Plenty of room. And I remember the big thing about this was the whole cable management. Mount your parts to the wall. Pretty soon our GPUs are going to look like pretty much like on the roof, like a AC unit. We're going to need something like that to cool it off at that point. Well, the fans are, yes. That's right. You're swapping them out with Liam Lee wireless ones because of all the wires. I'm glad you love it, Lee. So the one that Lee has, guys, is he has the one with the RX 9070 XT build. It's an awesome build. Really proud of that build. I'm glad he's loving it. Is that plate on the top of the GPU for the water block? With the one up here? You're talking about the one up here? Or is it... this is just a back plate. It's just like designed lovely. It's just like a metal plate. Let's go back here. Airflow wise. Are you concerned about your VRMs? Yes.
Red Devil, subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. Let me see. So you're concerned about your VRMs here, right? Let's see. Airflow wise, I would suggest the best thing you could do is you can get a 140 millimeter fan here. You can definitely throw a bigger fan. and you can get a bit more airflow that way. The fans up here, there's nothing that you can do. You can nothing to tweak there. The GPU wise, I know for the height Y70s they required you to have it vertical just like this, but sometimes it can be a bit counterintuitive if you're looking for better cooling in a sense. If you are looking for better cooling, you can mount it. You can mount it horizontally, like to its traditional sense, to get somewhat a better cooling. But those would be the main tweaks you could do. They also do have kits to where you can actually hook up to up here, like you could actually hook up to your like mini fans practically to your VRMs to dissipate heat as well. Like they look like little mini fans you can actually set there, and that can also help too. It can help push the airflow to the system. So I would suggest something like that. More to say. As much for space as these height cases take up, there's never space. You know why? Because that's a big reason why they have to sit horizontally. Is that reason? They're not designed to sit vertically. They don't have the space for that. You could do it, but you would have to kind of modify it to that sense. But other than that, I do love your build. How bad is the temperatures really that bad where you have to be concerned about it out of curiosity? So how long do you think the price of RAM will stay up to 64 gigabytes for $800? Yeah, and the crazy thing, I think it's going to continue to remain, unfortunately, Anthony. The pricing for RAM is going to continue to hold for at least through 2026. Samsung has already made a killing off of it. They made so much of a killing that they're giving all their employees who were involved part of the semiconductor project, they're all giving them up to a 50% raise of their salary. So that just tells you that how much they've ended up selling. That's 3 times what they usually make through the year. So that tells you how much they sold within this year. Unless SK Hynix has an answer and they hurry up their fab. Even if they do hurry up their fab, they also have first priority to companies such as Dell, companies to HP, Lenovo, all your typical main brands when it comes to PC builds. They are the first priority to get DRAM over the custom markets. So it will be them first if they do end up getting it. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to the point where we end up stripping pre-built PCs in order to pull out RAM, because it can be the case in the near future. Just for them to sell those PCs, that people will end up stripping it. So it's Ventus. They seem to be the same model from the 5060. So cooling must be for the 5090 on the weaker side. Project Stargate. Yes. More projects to throw on. 2026 is going to be a rough year when it comes to the budgets. If not gaming CPU, Temp 62. Okay. That's honestly not terrible. Honestly, you're doing decent. You're doing really good when it comes to the temperatures. I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I think you're doing great. Now, to answer the question, for someone who was asking if you are planning to get a kit, if you're planning to get RAM and you're building a PC, the best thing to do is to do this. Even if you're, to be honest, guys, even if you're not building a PC, buy the kit. You're going to save money, regardless. The reason being is because you're going to have a processor and a motherboard. And if you do end up, even if you don't want it, you don't want the motherboard and processor, you can resell it back on the market if you really have to. And you'll end up saving money anyway. In reality. So just get the kit if you're trying to get RAM for a cheaper price. You will certainly save on that end. If you try to buy RAM outright, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be more expensive within the next couple of weeks. Regardless of people saying stagnation, or when it comes to RAM, it's not stagnant. It has gone up since the last time we looked at it within last week. It went up about roughly $15 to $25 within the last week. But same thing with M.2 drives. It's also going up drastically in pricing. We can easily look up a Samsung 9100, and I can tell you it has gone up in price. Now, a 9100 Samsung is their PCI Express 5. It's their flagship NVMe. Again, usually, this when it first released within last year, it was $300. Okay, it was a $300 NVMe. It dropped down to $250, and then it dropped down to $200. It even dropped down to $180 for 2 terabytes. Now, this has slowly crept up. It went from back up to 200 right after Black Friday, went up to 220 within the last couple of weeks, and then within this week, it's at 255. So things are going up, and it is not dropping. So, yes. Yes, unfortunately, it's going up. And this will continue to go up because there is such limited supply when it comes to wafers. They could only print so much wafers. And the way like a wafer works, let me grab a wafer, for example. It's not a real wafer, but it's going to look something like this. They only print so much wafers. This one came from Intel, right? So they only can print so many of these. So, and when it comes to cutting these, right? What matters most, it's not like TSMC where they have a yield allowed. When it comes to Samsung and when it comes to SK Hynix, they have to cut it precisely. Because even if they make the wrong cut on a wafer, they have to throw the whole thing out practically. It's no good. So they have to be able to cut it precisely with no yield. And they have to print these specifically for AI, unfortunately. So that 4 terabyte, yes, it would be wonderful to get that, right? A 4 terabyte NVMe. So,
Stephen Young subscribed to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing, Stephen. But unfortunately, they have to cut these precisely to how it is. When it comes to something like this, they have to cut it exactly to its cut. So unfortunately, it's looking like they sold practically all. They sold all the wafers that they can make. Unless they create more fabs, then they can. Oh, thank you. Oh, wifey. The coconut water went bad.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. It taste.
I don't want to. Oh my god.
Yeah, my coconut water went bad, guys. I thought it was good, and then I was like, oh, taste something's wrong with it. But yeah, unfortunately that's the case with the wafers. They actually held off like up to 2027, and unfortunately they're not going to unless they create more fabs, unless SK Hynix successfully extends their fab, which they do plan on doing, then it will get better. So due to the future time zones in the future, if you don't give me free, okay, now you're just repeat my line there. So I told my brother to jump on a 4 terabyte M.2 for his PS5 when it was like 300. He finally went to buy it a few days ago. Text him. Oh, that's funny. Did you laugh in your head about it, or were you just thinking like I told you, I warned you about this, bro? Like I told you to get it. It was going to be bad. Happy New Year's, Marlon. Welcome. That is hilarious. I can imagine your response. Especially, I'm surprised at how many people get upset about when you speak the truth. Just like, I just came out with this video a couple days ago. Some of you guys may have seen it, especially for those who are in need of a GPU. And a lot of you not a lot of you, but the people that seen it who got upset said, oh, you're just invoking fear about this. And it's not invoking fear, it's the truth. It's a straight up truth. Just like one guy said that there's like over 25 in stock GPUs. That's great. You want to take this time to go ahead and make the purchase, because a month down the line, even 2 months down the line, you're going to be really complaining and you're going to say why you didn't get it. So I just tried to warn everybody about future cost. It's not up currently. It's slightly up. It went up for the 5080s and 5070s, 5070 Ti specifically. But again, if you need a GPU, you need any specific component, whether it's GPU, M.2 drive, or you need RAM, it's a good idea to go ahead and make the purchase, because eventually the way a shortage works, just like anything else, is once it gets sold out, they will not be able to produce it anymore. What happens to a product where it's in demand and they can't produce it, where they have 1 or 2 on shelves? It's going to go up in price because of that. So I laugh, like I told them M.2s were about to jump in price. That's stupid to buy M. They're costing more than. You know what's funny to really think about? You're no kidding. Like when you really think about it, it is more than the console. B580 a good buy for $250. Actually, thanks to Kuma, I told him he could just buy another PS5. He really could have, technically. B580, it's not bad, honestly. B580 is a card that people would like to get. It's if you guys are unfamiliar with the B580, it's Intel's GPU. It's their battle mage card. It's a decent card for anyone that wants to game like on games like Fortnite or anything, or if you're more of a battle royale player, that would be the card to get, especially because it's not expensive. Now, if you were to ask me I'm surprised I didn't come out with a video on this, which I should have, which is what is the best GPU of the year? What is the best card of 2025? It's the 9070 XT, no question. When it comes to price to performance, get the 9070 XT. Regardless of what you hear when it comes to NVIDIA, you may hear NVIDIA does the best in GPUs. Yes, that is true. It is fact. They do have great GPUs. But if you're looking for best for price to performance value, the RX 9070 XT is right next to the 5070 Ti. And when it comes to ray tracing performance, the only difference is when it comes to path tracing. Path tracing, the RX 5070 Ti will annihilate the RX 9070 XT. So if you are looking for decent pricing, but you're looking for 5070 Ti performance, the 9070 XT can certainly do it. So I should apply for a cleaner Microsoft warehouse with the multiple. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had those thoughts. Find some sort of contracting job that Micro Center is hiring for. I bet that whole Corsair issue, like with the lighting kits, if you guys haven't heard, there was somebody that actually had a bad kit of DDR5. It was a 96 gigabyte kit of DDR5, 6000 megahertz of CL30. He went to go warranty the memory, and in return, he got the kit back, but it wasn't what was expected.
Anthony Piper subscribed to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. In fact, when he received it, it ended up being a lighting kit, a light enhancement kit by Corsair. It happened twice. So tell me that's not an inside job. There's somebody in there that knows what they're doing. So, yes. Yeah, and then coders as well. That's also important as well. Yes. Now, that's why I said it's good for gaming. Specifically gaming. That's why I didn't mention the whole CUDA part. Now, when it comes to CUDA, that's more for those who are more interested in, say, production. Now, the gold standard when it comes to production is, believe it or not, it's not going to be an AMD processor. It's going to be an Intel processor when it comes to production usage. And when it comes to graphics, it's going to be NVIDIA. So the Intel and NVIDIA combo is still valid to get even these days. So what do you think is going to solve the problem for RAM? The only way you can get resolved this RAM issue is if these companies are willing to expand their fabs. They need larger fabs in order to reach demand. So you have to have companies like SK Hynix. They are expanding their fabs. They are expanding on their current one to a much larger fab, but it won't finish construction until the end of 26. So that means the demand won't be really truly filled until like the beginning of 27 to late 27 even, depending on how fast their need is for it. But there actually might be more demand for it now, since these main companies such as HP, such as Dell, they are in demand for RAM. So they are going to have to send it to them first. So, and Micron's completely off the map anyway. So Micron's completely jumped off the whole DRAM market and went full HBM. Same thing when it came to Samsung. They're on full HBM mode right now. So that's why there's a crisis when it comes to the GPU. It's just an unspoken crisis for now until all the GPUs actually get bought out in all the micro centers, for example. So can you check out that WSW880? Sure, I'll check it out in a bit. Let me see. Let me type it in. So tech power upside. Yes. So is that even for sure, or is that wishful thinking? It's 100%. I'm certain. I'm like certain. Unless we see different in Computex, make sure you guys join the roundtable. Once again, it's funny. I've been saying this a lot now. Join the roundtable. Make sure you get the first here first when I'll arrive at not Computex. What am I saying? At CES. When I get to CES on January 4th. When I get there, we'll start. And the funny thing is that day, I actually have a Samsung event to go to that night. So I'll see if it has any relevancy for what's going on. It might be more focused on the AI side, which they've been already pushing. Thanks, LSG, because I'll probably get hammered by the next hour if I take a shot for every AI mentioned during this event. But let's take a look here. So I'm buying a PC today, mainly for video editing, second gaming in India for Intel Core Ultra 7 5070 Zotac Solid, ASRock Z890 Pro RS Wi-Fi LGA 1851 CL30 T-Create Samsung 91. It's not a bad build. That's great. If you're doing it for editing, that is the way to go. CE Computex. Steal me some M.2 from Samsung. I just got my GPU, motherboard CPU. Then it always happens that way. Unfortunately, that's always the case. Casey, what's going on? So let's take a look. We're going to take a look at this board right here, this workstation board. That's an awesome choice, by the way. Okay. I'm really curious about this whole new. Let me see. Let me just go straight to tech specs here. What you think about Crucial's P3 Plus? It's not a bad SSD. In fact, that's what's in Lee's build. He actually has that. The Crucial P3 Plus for M.2 works great. Yeah, has no problems playing any game. Now most M.2s you can truly get away with. So make sure you can get away with it. Let's see. We are going to check this out. So the maximum you can get up to 256 gigabytes of DDR5. It's decent. Supports, okay, XMP. We know that. Thunderbolt 4. Now, I'm curious about the expansion slots here. Now it has 2 PCI Express 5, 16 lanes. Same thing with PCI Express 4. It's not a bad setup. It's not too bad. It's pretty much nothing too crazy. It supports up to W880 chipset. I think it's good for what you're going to be doing with it. A Thunderbolt USB front USB. Let's see. Back panel. Internal. Yeah, it looks decent for the most part. Now I have to sleep. It's 2 hours past the New Year's. Thank you for sticking around, Takuma. Definitely appreciate it. It's kind of a lower high-end motherboard price for 285K. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking it's like pretty much like almost like it's a hybrid between like more of a workstation board and a regular motherboard. I'm pairing a Gigabyte B850M ORS Elite Wi-Fi 6E ICE with a 9070X. It's a great build. You'll be happy with it. That's actually a really awesome build. Content creation. Okay, if you're using it for content creation, I recommend a better processor for it. Instead of using it's a great processor to get. If you're a bit more on a tighter budget, I get it. But if you could do it, I would go 7950X. You don't have to get the extra D, just get the X. If you get the 7950X, it will satisfy your content creation needs, and you can also game well on it. If you have the extra money, of course, you could go extra D at that point, but I would say try the 7950X. So Simplicity Chef says, I bought my CPU and board from Micro Center Combo, paid $505, 9700X with MSI P650. Copa loves the build. He says, good build. That's awesome though. Like if anybody can get a combo, that's the way to go. Especially with how high pricing is for when it comes to RAM, when it comes to SSDs. Again, like it's much more expensive if you end up purchasing individually. It's harder for those who want to do, say, an upgrade. Here goes something that got thrown in my face. Very decent deal. RX 9070 XT Challenger is actually a great deal for $580. Great for anyone that is solely focused on something like gaming. So if anyone is thinking of just like a gaming build, 9070 XT is way to go. Thinking a bit more of a budget when you are like say more of a streamer, 9070 XT can be the way to go. Now if you need something a bit more for when it comes to like say video creation, like more like say like you're more into video editing like DaVinci, you will need the CUDA cores. Then it would be a bit more recommended to go something like say a 5070 Ti at the minimum. Of course, you could go a bit higher if you like, but again, watch the pricing. Prices of 5080s have gone up a bit. 5090s, you could only really find the more expensive ones now, because a lot of the 5090s that you look at now have gone up quite a bit in pricing here. So if you take a look, the only ones that they have are the Astrals, which is at $3,359. Same thing with the Zotac. They have the water-cooled version. They have one in stock, $2,800. That's probably a bit more fair. Now they actually got one more in stock now, two more. They got the Asus NVIDIA RTX 5090 Tough for $3,000. PMY2 GB 9080 XGTX has been good to me. You know what? They've been decent. They've been actually decent company. Like back then they were, at least. Yeah. Pretty expensive, right? Insane. Oh, really? For the 7950X? That's more than I thought. Let me take a look here. 7950X. How much are they selling it for? $589. So it's held and retained value. Let me try 9950X. It's crazy. So if you spend a bit more, you can just get a 9950X. How about the 7900X? I'm going to try it up. $7,900X. That makes more sense. Just get the 7900X. Yeah, the 7950X makes no sense at that rate. Then get the 7950. Get the 7900X. That's a much better deal then. Oh, what's free? What did you end up getting free? What's the secret here? Or you could just go for the AMD bundles. If you haven't bought your bundles, take a look at them. My PC build budget in a few months back, including table and chair, $2,222.55, etc. But current scenario, yeah, it's insane. It's really bad. Like a lot of PCs have gone up intrinsically in value. Like if you look at say a 9900X, here you go. This is a decent kit for $650. You get the 9900X, you get MSI X870E motherboard, and you get RAM with it. So that's not a bad deal. Which bundle at Micro Center for the 98? Okay, so let's look. 9800 X3D. If I were to pick, so this is a great question that is posed. I would say I would go. This is the B650. Why would they put the B650 with it? Of course. That's why it's cheaper. Okay. So if you're a bit more tighter on the budget, go 729. I want to go for the B650E. I would go 729, get the X870E, take advantage of the motherboard. That's a better motherboard for sure. And then get the kit. So that's the one I would go with if you had to make the choice. What's the difference between the 7800 X3D? Because the difference is because the 7800 X3D has less cores. You're going to have 12 cores and you're going to have 12 cores and 24 threads compared to something like 16 cores and 32 threads. So it's better if you're using it more for the multitasking aspect. The X3D is more for like the gaming side. If you're looking more onto the like more of the production process here. I was looking, yes, MSI one's a decent one. That's why I would say MSI. Buy cheaper and wait for Zen 6, more cores and threads. And yeah, if you can wait for Zen 6. Zen 6 will be soon. In fact, in a few days. But FanBam guys, I have to get going. I thank everybody who has come into the stream. Happy New Year's to all of you, especially if it's been already across that point for your guys' nights. I will see you on my typical stream date on Saturdays. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, it's at 8 a.m. Saturday Eastern time. So I will see you then. And right after, the very next day, we're going to head over to CES. So happy New Year's and happy early New Year's for everybody, as I have to wait 4 more hours on my end. So happy New Year's to everybody out there, if it is your time. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and take care.